Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome back to DCTV, where I am your host, Drew Collins, bringing you all sports-related news here in the greater Cincinnati area. In today's live stream / video, we are going to be getting into some, a hot topic coming into week 4. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is a very, and the Cincinnati Bengals, two bottom of the league teams as of right now. And we have a lot of previews that we're going to go over, a lot of predictions, key points to win the game. We're going to talk about some Bengals news. And go from there. So a lot of interesting topics to talk about in today's stream. I might be having some of my own subscribers join the live stream with me so they can come in and give their opinion. We're going to see if we can give that a go. And just an all-around fun stream today. So thank you for joining. If you haven't already, if you're new around here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. DCTV is a quality infotainment YouTube channel where we bring all Cincinnati sports news here on one YouTube. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, and I'm trying to get live on Twitch too, all at the same time. So welcome Drake, welcome Juju, welcome AWOL, WHODEY, baby. We got a fun topic to get into today. So we're going to go over a lot of stuff, repping the Reds, even though they highly disappointed there in that postseason. I mean, that had to be like the most disappointing postseason of all time. So, we're going to try to stay away from the Reds news and try to just focus on Bengals. So getting into today's, we'll go ahead and start with a preview. So, obviously at quarterbacks, we have Joe Burrow, who didn't get Rookie of the Month or Rookie of the Week, whatever it was, which is kind of surprising. We are actually facing, I believe, the Offensive Rookie of the Month, which is the running back for the Jaguars. I have him on fantasy. He's a heck of a player, but we're going to start by focusing on the quarterback comparisons and then go by each position and so on and so forth. So if you give me a second, I'm going to go ahead and look up the Jacksonville Jaguars roster. So starting at quarterback, so Gardner Minshew has been someone who has been very hyped the past 2 seasons. Minshew mania has been put into the toughest situation of them all in that awful organization who is just trading away every piece of talent they have, which is just making it so much harder for Gardner Minshew, who's actually starting to become, a great, a possible great franchise quarterback for the Jaguars if they can put around him. If we go ahead and check out some of his stats this year, which I'll get into, and honestly, he's done really well. I definitely thought the Jacksonville Jaguars was going to be a top 3 team in the league. I still think they will be, but so far they got to win, and it's going to be pretty interesting to see how the Bengals face up against them. So we're going to go ahead and check out Gardner Minshew's stats. Obviously, as a character, you got to love him. He just is so interesting and so different. He stands out. He seems really funny. He seems like a great character guy, a good locker room guy that you want to have. And especially being at quarterback, you need that leader. You just need that leader. So he's 6'1", 225 out of Washington State. He's only 25 years old. I honestly thought he was older than that, but only 25 years old. He has a bright future ahead of him, in my opinion. So far this season, he has a 101 QBR, 79 for 107, 73.8% so far this season, which is pretty well for a second-year quarterback, considering the situation he is in. That's fairly impressive, in my opinion. 787 yards, so that's an average of about 260 yards per game throwing the ball. His yards per average is 7.4. And his touch ratio is 6-3, whereas last season he had 21-6, which is for a rookie that was put into a situation he was, I think he did a great job. The one thing that is concerning, he already has 3 interceptions. So for those Bengals fans, it's something we're going to want to do is cause more turnovers this week. That was something I wanted to drill into last week's game plan, and it actually ended up working. We got some turnovers. We were able to get the ball from our defense. Our defense really stepped up. So hopefully we can continue that this week with Gardner Minshew in the backfield. He has a fumble. He had 10 fumbles last year. So a guy that is known to, turn the ball over. So obviously we played Carson Wentz last week, who is the king of turnovers so far in the season of 2020. Quarterback comparison. I like our guy better. Don't get me wrong. I like Gardner Minshew. I think he's a bright future, but I definitely want to take Joe Burrow over him. And especially the situation, I think this Jacksonville defense has a lot of holes. So going into one of my favorite part of this matchup is going to be the running game. Obviously, we know what the rushing game has been for the Cincinnati Bengals this season has been very poor and lackluster. We want to see more improvements on that behalf, and not just on Joe Mixon, also on the offensive line. I feel like Joe Mixon is getting a lot of crap for the way he's played, but I just feel like he has such a low amount of support so far this season that it's not helping him at all. So obviously, James Robinson, the rookie out of Illinois State, is the guy, the man, the myth, the legend so far this year for this Jacksonville offense. I actually picked him up in my fantasy league and free agency a few weeks back because a couple of my running backs got hurt, and that first week he gave me 30 points. So he has been great for a rookie so far. I'm pretty sure I think he won Rookie of the Month. He is 5'9", 219, 22 years old. Like I said, out of Illinois State, excuse me. We'll go ahead and look up some of his stats so far in the season. So a big part in this game, just like the past few games, who's going to establish that running game and who's really going to get to that ground and pound, very quickly. So we're going to have to see which team can do that better, and that could definitely be that who is going to be able to tell who wins this game possibly. So let's go ahead and look up some of his stats so far this year. You guys let me know who you think is going to play some key roles into this next week's game. Let me know who has to step up for the Bengals, who has to step up for the Jags, and how you think the outcome is going to be. So he's averaging 70 yards a game, 210 yards, and 3 touchdowns. In my opinion, that's pretty impressive with the situation they're in. I keep saying the situation they're in, but Jacksonville is a dumpster fire organization. What they've done, this past year, I've never seen an organization in any situation at all where they have just dumped so much talent just because everyone hates their front office. I know it's weird to complain about other front offices as a Bengals fan, as that we get a lot of heat for ours, but I believe they get what they want. So he is 43 attempts for 210 yards, which is 70 yards per game. His longest is 39. He has 3 touchdowns and 0 fumbles on the season. So I think it's going to be a big key to stop this undrafted free agent who's just came onto the scene out of nowhere and has really worked his way up the lineup. So it's going to be fairly interesting to see how we can hold him. And then vice versa, the Bengals, we have to get our running game going. Joe Mixon, we have to get him going early and often. And not just through the rushing attack, we have to get him going through the receiving attack as well. And that's something I highly need this Bengals team to do early and often. If we can get that lead first, then it opens up so much more in our offense. We don't have to go 4 or 5 out the entire game, forcing Burrow to throw 40 to 60 attempts each and every game. Yes, that's fun to watch, but it's so much more enjoyable to just be able to see your team get the lead, hold the lead, and just be able to pound and ground the entire game. And that's what we paid Mixon to do, and that's what we need, and that's what we want to see him do. And I feel like the Bengals have to definitely establish that very early on the game if we want to show a lot of success against this Jacksonville team. I believe if we can put this Jacksonville team, on the back burner, if we can take the lead, I feel like it's going to be very hard for them to come back and and take that lead back. So, there's only a few guys in the league where I say it doesn't really matter if you get the lead or not because they can always come back. And those are guys like Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. Those guys, it don't matter if you get the lead or not because at any moment they can come back in the game. I don't think that when I think Gardner Minshew. That's why it's a big thing to get that game going. We got to get on the points first. We got to get on the board first, get some points up, and then run through, like AWOL said, Mixon and Bernard. Exactly. Bernard's had to get going too. He's had a couple good plays going on in the receiving game the past few weeks, but not enough. And the reason why I believe it's, why Bernard is struggling is because Mixon's not going. So if Mixon's not going, Bernard's not going to go, and it's just crumbles from there. The cookie crumbles from there. So if we can get Mixon going, that opens up Bernard, that opens up play action, it opens up so much for our offense that we're going to be able to say, hey, we want to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to give it to him. We're going to give it to him. And that's what we need to see this week because they're not looking ahead at our schedule. There's not many teams where I feel very confident that we should get a win easy. And this is one of the games before the season started. I said, that's a win. There's not many games on this schedule that I said, okay, that's an easy win for this Bengals team. This is one where I expect us to win. I've expected us to win, and I still hope that we do. So, and this is a game where we can get Mixon going. Their defensive front is not scary. So this is a game where I believe Mixon will really start his season, and we'll get going from this Sunday, and hopefully it will continue the rest of the season. Running back is a very momentum built position. You know what I mean? A lot of guys, best in the league, look at Ezekiel Elliott. Those guys don't really get going till later in the game. Why? Because they have to build so much momentum. They got to get the ball, Once they start, playing more and getting more reps, that's when they, their game is the best. And I believe like this could possibly, Joe, that could be definitely Mixon, especially this season. If we can get him going in today's game, then the future rest of the season, maybe he can keep it going. Maybe he can get that stride of momentum going. So, this is a game where I see our schedule. We have to get our guys going this game, because if it's not this game, who knows when it's going to be, because this is the easiest competition we're going to have. So that's why I really have high hope. Can't wait for the live stream on Sunday. I really think we will be proud of what the Bengals do this coming Sunday. Moving on, we'll move to weapons. So obviously they have Tyler Eifert, who we had to let walk in free agency. I actually didn't mind that move. Unfortunately, Tyler Eifert was a heck of his player when healthy. He was one of the best tight end, top 10 tight ends easy in the league when healthy. It's just, when was he healthy? Never. Tyler Eifert was a great guy. I heard he was good in the locker room, but the guy couldn't stay healthy for nothing. He had a lot of disgusting injuries, and hopefully he can turn his career around in Jacksonville. He's 30 years old, so maybe he can end strong. He went to Jacksonville, so if that doesn't tell you something. But I know he already has a touchdown or two on the year already. So it's going to be fun seeing us play Tyler Eifert and see if we can get Von Bell and Jesse Bates to step up and guard the big guy. Moving to receivers, DJ Chark, obviously a great player, also out of LSU. So, I'm not sure if he played. Did he play with Burrow? Burrow's not this year, but the year before. I don't think so. I don't think Burrow played with them. But, nonetheless, he's a great receiver, 6'4", 198. He has great size and a great ability, good speed, good awareness. So we're going to have to definitely see who's going to step up and guard him. Obviously, Trey Wayne's still out, so I've seen Mackenzie Alexander, who's done fairly well. Who's held his own, I would say. William Jackson is probably might be the guy for that matchup right there, if I had to guess, for a majority of the game. William Jackson obviously had a pick on the year, and so let's see how that goes. Eifert is the second-string tight end. I didn't know he was a second-string tight end. I haven't watched any footage of Jacksonville here. I'm going to be completely honest. I just know I've seen Eifert score a touchdown or two so far, so which is good. Good for him. It's good to see him getting going. Burrow needs to call plays himself with Zach Taylor's approval, because Burrow knows more about the offense than Taylor does. I'm not too sure about that. I don't know if that's a good call through his fourth game of his career with no preseason. I think eventually down the road, 2 years, 3 years, I definitely think that's something we're going to look towards to. But, this early on in the season, I think it's too early to do that. Now, if it's every other play on a specific drive, audibles, stuff like that, yeah, obviously I don't care if he does audibles. But, him being the guy and say, hey, you go do it all, I don't know about that. Yeah, just because why have an offensive coach and not use him? Zach Taylor's an offensive-minded coach, so why would we – I don't know. You probably brought that up because of the news of Aaron Rodgers that's gone out recent, where he says that in the game he actually faked as if he was losing connection on his helmet to the offensive coordinator and faked it, so he was calling his own plays because of that. I don't know if that's what you're referring to, but I did see that, which is hilarious. But Aaron Rodgers should be able to do that. He shouldn't have to fake it. It should definitely be Aaron Rodgers' team. All right, you also have Keenan Cole, 6'1", 194, out of Kentucky Westland, so not too far away from here. Another guy who can get going. I don't think it should be too big of a problem. Our secondary, I'd definitely like to see one of our safeties get a turnover. I want to see Von Bell or Jesse Bates. I'm still waiting for one of those guys to get a turnover, either a fumble or interception. I've been calling it for about the past 2 weeks. I called it on a play, and that was a play where William Jackson called an interception. So I almost called it right then and there live during the game, which would have been super sick. But yeah, we got to get one of our safeties going. This is a big game where we need our big dogs that haven't really stepped up this year, like Jesse Bates, to really step up, because this is the game. It doesn't get easier on the schedule than this week. So high hopes with those guys. Obviously, D.D. Westbrook, his 4-year guy out of Oklahoma, 6 foot, 178. He's a great receiver. I feel like this receiving core is definitely hot and cold. I feel like they're definitely inconsistent, and we'll be able to find out this week how we can, how our secondary is going to step up. I mean, we've shut the guys down like who was it against the Chargers? Our secondary has been pretty decent so far this year. What do you guys think of our secondary this year? How out of 1 to 10, how do you rate them so far through the first 3 weeks? 1 to 10, 10 being spectacular, spot on, and 1 being very piss poor. Keenan Allen, who's I'm referring to. We shut down Keenan Allen, and I know that because I have him on fantasy, and he only had like 3.4 points that week. So we've been able to stop some guys. I know we held up Jarvis Landry. Obviously, Odell had a few big burner plays on William Jackson through man-on-man coverage through play action. But, so far these guys haven't done too bad. That's not my most concern. That's not my biggest concern is this secondary. Not at all. So I do expect our secondary to be able to hold their own this week. Obviously, now let's talk about our receivers. AJ Green. If you haven't already, go follow my Twitter. I know it is up here, right here, Drew_Collins11. Go follow my Twitter right now if you haven't already. I did a Twitter poll where I said, let me go back to it. I said, where's the poll? For the DCTV question of the week, has AJ Green lost a step in 2020? I have yes, no, and kind of. There's still 2 days to go vote on this, so go vote on this if you haven't already. My Twitter is up there in that top corner. 58% of people voted yes, that he has lost a step. 11% of people voted no, he has not lost a step. And 31% of people said kind of lost a step. I had Nico Heister comment on it, ask me this question at the midpoint of the season. I think he may be just still breaking the rust off and creating a great connection with Burrow because let's be real, even though Dalton was not an outstanding QB in Cincy, his amazing connection with AJ Green was impossible to deny, which is a good fact that Nico brought up. So, yes, it is a little early, but I want to start throwing those questions out. Each week, I'm going to have a DCTV question a week that I'm going to go and answer on the live stream live, so on Sunday. So go follow me on Twitter, vote on that. What do you guys think? I think that he has lost a step for sure. I still think he's a great wide receiver. I think he's still reliable, but he has lost a step, and I think that's hard to deny. Unfortunately, and you got to expect it. He's getting up there in age. This next contract will most likely be his last contract before he retires. So yeah, trying to be honest, I do think he has lost a step. I do still think he's a great receiver. I still think he's reliable, and I still think he should still retire as a Bengal. But yes, he has definitely lost a step in the prime, in my opinion. Now, when it comes to contract talks about how much we should bring him back for, I think whatever he's wanting, that $10 to $15 million range, I think that is not a good decision financially for the Bengals if we give them that in salary. Just because it's probably going to be a 3-year-ish deal. So he's obviously only going to decline from here. And the Bengals don't have that cap space to lock up a receiver like AJ Green, who's just getting in his later years. I want to see him retire as a Bengal. He's not a Bengal. I grew up watching him, but at the right price. Can't forget the NFL is a business at the end of the day, and you got to make smart financial decision. And the AJ Green contract is going to be very, very interesting to watch this offseason. Very interesting to watch because we saw they couldn't come on a deal this year, so we just franchise tagged him, so he's getting paid in an absurd amount. Obviously, not what you want him to be on at this point in his career. So we'll have to see how that turns out, guys. It's going to be an interesting one with AJ Green talk. Moving on to some positive news, Tyler Boyd stepped up last week. He looked great. He really showed flashes of his, previous success in the other 2 seasons, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, trying to make it 3 back-to-back-to-back. And he looked great last Sunday. He looked good, and it's exciting to see him coming back. I want to see him getting going on early. He's another player where I feel like we don't see him until the second half, which is good. It's nice that he is coming along in the second half, but we need more Tyler Boyd early and often. I think that he is going to get another 1K season. He's looking great. He's hanging on to hard catches, slant routes to the middle. He's holding on to them. So, I'm really excited for Tyler Boyd to see what he's doing so far this season. Yeah, when did AJ Green come in the league? 2011, I believe. Yeah, so he's been on here a while. So that's what I'm saying. He's up there in age, man. We got to weigh out our options. I love AJ Green. I want him to retire as a Bengal, but at the right price, man. We are a new team. We are a new franchise, a new locker room, new momentum going into the future with Joe Burrow and Zach Taylor. And if he doesn't want to be able to accept the right price, then maybe he should move on. We'll have to see when we get there. We'll cross that bridge at some time, and we'll probably deal with it when we cross that bridge. Let's wait till the offseason. Because once again, the Bengals are going to say the Bengals aren't going to sign him midseason. They're going to wait to the end of the season because they're going to see how he does. If he plays below what he did before, they're going to be like, whoa, stop there. Why would we pay you $13 million when you're playing like an $8 or $9, $7 million guy in salary? And that's going to say, and they're going to say, what about your injuries, your age? And they're going to bring up all these things. But it's also could be positive for AJ Green if he goes out, has 1,200 yards, 10 plus touchdowns, 60, 70 plus receptions. Then he's going to be like, hey, man, where's my money? I want to retire as a Bengal. You pay me that money in that contract. So we'll have to see when we cross that bridge. And I don't want to talk about it because it frustrates me every time I start talking about it, and I can't stop talking about it. So we're going to move on. So we brought up Tyler Boyd. Another huge positive was T. Higgins. When he came in, he looked fantastic. He missed that one big catch in overtime, which really would have probably put us close to field goal range or put us in field goal range. So that was a big bummer. But he's looking great, man. For a rookie who's going out there who has stepped up in the spot of John Ross, who they gave the start to in the first few weeks, and then he took his spot. And I don't think he's looking back, man. The way he looked, the way he played, he said, I'm taking your spot, and you're not getting that spot back. So I'm really excited for T. Higgins to see the connection he can build with Joe Burrow. Obviously, I believe he had 2 touchdown receptions. I mean, that's amazing, man. Besides Justin Jefferson, who had 175 reception yards for the Minnesota Fighting Vikings, I think would have got Rookie of the Week if not for that. But yeah, man, super excited on teams. I can't wait to see more of this kid. Moving on, John Ross. Is John Ross playing this week? I'm not too sure. If he is, I don't want to see him a lot on the field. Like, he played a lot better in the time he got when T. Higgins got than versus John Ross when he was on the field the first 2 weeks, a lot. So I don't think he'll be at Bengal next year, so I really don't care if he's on the field or not. So we'll have to see. All due respect to him and his family situation. I know he was talking about his son, I believe, got sick because of the pandemic situation. So that's very unfortunate. Hopefully, all his family's all healthy. No disrespect to him and his family. Just when it comes to football and on the field, I'd rather not see him on it. So that might be hard, but that's just my opinion on John Ross. Alden Tate. Obviously, last week and a half, he went out on social media, kind of cried boo-hoo about his reps and how much he's playing, and came back last week. I really thought he was going to have a big week because of that. Didn't really do much. He played more than what he did before, but I think he only had a reception or 2. I don't know about Alden Tate's future as a Bengal. I love Alden Tate. He brings a lot of value. He's young. He's a great player. But if we get the situation to possibly trade him for a offensive lineman per se, would I be excited for that? Would I agree to that? Yes, I would. I said that a few weeks ago when he came out, made that statement, and so many Bengals fans were like, what are you doing? You don't know Bengals football. And I was like, dude, you're going to see in the next few weeks when Burrow is borderline getting killed, getting his head taken off, and we have the worst offensive line in the league, and we're not doing anything about it. When we could mid-season trade Alden Tate or possibly any value player and try to get an offensive lineman. That's just a thrown out there idea. I mean, you might disagree with that or not. John Ross, Alden Tate, any guy that we might have some value, I'm up to trading them for some offensive linemen that are young but are already established a pretty, mid to top tier offensive lineman for our future. I'm hands down on board. I've been on board than that since week 1. I know it probably won't happen. We haven't traded in like 10 years. It probably won't happen, but I would definitely be okay if it did. I know some of you guys love Alden Tate. I did too, but he's not playing. He's not getting the ball a lot. So if we're not utilizing him as much, let's go get an offensive lineman where we will utilize him every single down, every single snap. So, And in my opinion, receivers are a lot easier to replace than linemen in today's NFL. How many times have the Bengals or any other organization drafted an offensive lineman? They really haven't established themselves. Billy Price, I can name about 10 other offensive linemen on the Bengals who have done but I haven't turned that guy. The only guy that's turning into that guy is Jonah Williams. But other than that, man, I wouldn't be opposed to that if we got into that situation. Getting back onto the preview and prediction. Offensive line, the Jacksonville Jaguars, I'm pretty sure, are fighting us for worst offensive line in the NFL. So what does this mean? Defensive front, sacks, tackles for loss. We got to get in the backfield. Carl Lawson, Sam Hubbard, Carlos Dunlap, Geno Atkins if he plays, Mike Daniels. We need these guys to get into the backfield. Akeem Davis-Gaither. We need these guys to get in the backfield this week and cause pressure. The Jacksonville Jaguars have a terrible offensive line just like us, so we got to get involved on the defensive side. We got to get into his face to cause pressure, which was a beautiful thing last week. A beautiful thing last week. For the first, 2 weeks, no pressure. Carlos Dunlap, non-existent. Carl Lawson, a little bit existent. Sam Hubbard, non-existent. Last week, those guys were all over the quarterback, man, and it was super exciting to see. We had a couple of sacks. We should have had more because we missed so many sack opportunities. Sam Hubbard missed at least 2 sack opportunities. Carl Lawson missed one. I believe Akeem Davis-Gaither's missed one. But, nonetheless, our defensive front looked great last week. They looked athletic. They looked like they want to get after that quarterback, and we need more of that in this week. In week 4, we need more of that. And vice versa for the Jacksonville Jaguars, they have to step up and block because, we're going to be sending the blitz, I believe, a lot this week. And maybe some safety blitzes. Maybe we send Jesse Bates back there or Von Bell a play or two and see if we can get even more pressure. So what are your guys' opinions on that so far? Because they looked good last week. We were definitely getting in there. We were not making it easy on the quarterback. So I'd like to definitely see more of that for sure. Give me 1 second, guys. If you guys haven't already, we're almost 30 minutes into the stream. Please hit that like button just real quick. Takes 5 seconds out of your day. Hit that like button and hit that sub button. We're about 7 subscribers away from 1.3K. We're at 1.2K. We're at 1,292, I believe. So around 7 subscribers hit 1.3K and hit that like button, guys. Let's get a like spike going. Let's get at least 25 likes right now. Let's keep it going though. So let's go to the defensive side like we just did. So defensive front is going to be really important. Is there any big guys that stand out to me on this defense? Let's see. Joe Schobert is pretty good. Miles Jack is a beast. I really liked Miles Jack, excuse me. I really like what he's done in his career. 6'1", 244, 5-year guy out of UCLA. The guy is a homing missile, a tackle machine. We'll have to see what he can do against us, Cincinnati Bengals. But Miles Jack's a great guy, a great player. He is definitely probably one of the best, if not the best guy on their defense. And he's the only guy that's been on the Jacksonville Jaguars. They've literally shipped off this entire team. I want to say defense, but entire team besides Miles Jack. So, Miles Jack is that guy. And Drake Berry just posted the Discord right here. If you guys haven't already, it's the second link. So my first link's my PayPal. The second link is this Discord. Go join this Discord. There's about 40 people that are all Cincinnati fans, Reds, Bengals, whatever it is, FC Cincinnati, and we just talk sports in there all day. Totally free, just a group of guys who talk Cincinnati sports. So if that sounds good to you, it's the second link in the description. Obviously, rookie Kayvon Chaisson. Let me know if I'm saying that wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm butchering that. But rookie out of LSU, former teammate of Joe Burrow's. So that's going to be interesting to watch to see what he can do as a rookie. I'm sure he's going to get plenty of playing time on this team. But I mean, this defense, man, there's not much to it where I'm like, whoa. Obviously we're going to have rookie CJ Henderson, cornerback, 6'1" out of Florida. So it's going to be fun to see him, versus Joe Burrow, rookie versus rookie. That matchup, who he will be guarding. It'd be awesome to see him and T. Higgins lined up next to each other. That would be a fun one to watch. But in all fairness, this defense for this Jacksonville team doesn't like spook me. It's definitely, not, a bottom to mediocre defense in the league. And I really think we can put up some points this week, and I really hope we can. So that is all around my, preview for each and every player position. I will say our linebackers, I saw Logan Wilson is possibly dealing with a concussion, which is no bueno. Hopefully he's back. He's healthy. Hopefully he can play. If not, hopefully he just gets healthy quick, because we really can't, we can't deal with injuries right now. We can't, especially our young guys. I don't want to see our young guys injured. That's like the worst thing possible. Hopefully Jermaine Pratt can continue to get a lot of tackles, and a lot of our guys in that linebacking group. Josh Allen, the defensive end for Jacksonville, I'm going to be watching him. Yeah, definitely. Josh Allen is a heck of a player. I don't know. Is he lining up on Jonah Williams' side or the other side? Please tell me he's lining up on Jonah Williams' side. Can someone confirm which side for Josh Allen, or not Josh Allen? Oh yeah, Josh Allen. Excuse me. Who will he be lining up against? Because I hope it's Jonah Williams. I wish we had someone on defense like Joe Burrow, a guy to be that guy, to be that main conductor who leads the defense. Yeah, man. Hopefully we can grow to that. I think in the future it could definitely be Jesse Bates. I think he can really set up into a leadership role. Depending on if Carl Lawson or Sam Hubbard steps up, they can step up and be that conductor on that defensive line. And then linebacker-wise, I really, 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 really hope it's Logan Wilson. I really hope Logan Wilson turns into a heck of a player that we all want him to be. And if so, he definitely could be that conductor on defense that tells guys where to go. It tells how it is, and is a captain of that defense. I really think Logan Wilson's a good shot in the future of being that guy. So, with that being said, do you guys have anything that maybe a player you're looking out for, or anything that's going on? If you do, put that in the comment section below. And I guess we'll move on to, let me see here. I don't want to give my score prediction quite yet, because I don't know. What's the past few games, how many points have they put up, the Jaguars? Let me see what kind of points they're putting up. I want to, because to be honest, like I said, I haven't watched many Jacksonville Jaguars games, and if you are, I don't know why you are. It's like a lot of people outside of Cincinnati. If you're not a Bengals fan, people really aren't. The game to watch probably isn't the Bengals for a lot of people outside of Cincinnati. So they scored 27 against the Colts, where they total shock to me. I really liked Phillip Rivers and his fit. In Indianapolis, honestly. I personally liked it a lot. Who they stunned them, 27-20 win. They then put 30 points on a Tennessee Titans defense, which I thought was pretty impressive. Lost by 3 points. And then they only scored 13 points last week against the Dolphins, which, once again, that's another shock for me. How can you put 30 points up on the Titans, 27 points on the Colts, but then you only put 13 on the Dolphins? You know what I mean? Like, that was kind of like, what? And they gave up 31. They've given up 31 points, 33 points, and 20 points so far through 3 weeks. That's why I'm saying about this defense, man. I don't think it's anything special. I think it's the team where we can definitely put some points on the board against. And don't be surprised if we get, if our offense gets going. I'm going to have to guess, man. Let's see. I might have to go with us. Let's see. I think I got my number. Thinking around 20-30 range for the Bengals, give or take. 20-30 range. And for them, they're putting up points. Besides last week only putting up 13, they put up 33 or 30 and 27 the first 2 weeks. So Gardner Minshews is definitely slinging that thing. I think I got my score though. And my score, I'm gonna review it, but if not, I got my score. It's pretty close. This Jacksonville team shows that they can put up a fight. I mean, literally, besides that Thursday night game, those two first, the Titans and the Colts are two pretty good teams. Well coached, decent talent on the roster, and for them to be putting up those points, that's pretty impressive. And honestly, without looking at these, I totally forgot what the scoreboard was looking like. And I'll go ahead and let you guys know. I'm thinking 27-20 Cincinnati Bengals. Maybe that might change Sunday. That's what I'm going to do right now. Maybe it might change Sunday, but that's what I'm sticking with. I'm also going to give you a few player predictions, and then I'll probably see if I can go live here with Drake here in a second. And if I can, we'll get Drake onto the stream, and we'll be able to side by side. I want to hear a little about what he has to say about the stream or about the Week 4 game. But player predictions for me: Joe Burrow. I'm going to give him 2 or 3 touchdowns. 2 or 3 touchdowns. I think one will be a receiving touchdown to Mixon. I do think Mixon will have at least 1 rushing touchdown, and I hope Mixon get 100 rushing yards on the day. That will definitely boost his confidence and his morale, get him going again like we really, really die hard need Mixon going. I think it's going to be a big one for Mixon. I think he'll have at least 1 touchdown, maybe a rushing and receiving touchdown, 100 yards. I would like to see him get the ball 20 to 30 times. You might think like, whoa, that's crazy with the way we've been playing. But if we can get him going and we can take the lead early, let's not make Burrow throw the ball 40 to 60 times, him getting his head taken off possibly because our offensive line is garbage, when we can run through Mixon. We need to run through Mixon to get going, man. So, yeah, there's that. I really think Mixon, this will be his game. AJ Green, I think this could be AJ Green's best game yet because none of these guys are like, oh, he can. They're gonna shut down AJ Green. Unlike last week where he did get shut down, I don't think that will be a problem this week. I think AJ Green will have his best game of the early season so far. We'll have to see with Alden Tate. I think Alden Tate could be one of those guys who gets a receiving touchdown. I keep. That's always like my every week. I say Alden Tate touchdown. Alden Tate touchdown. I'm waiting for it. Hopefully it's this week. On the defensive side of the ball, I expect at least minimal 4 sacks. I think if Geno Atkins is healthy, I think he might be able to get in the backfield. I think Sam Hubbard and Carl Lawson, I mixed those 2 names up. I think those guys can have a piece of each, maybe 2. I think at least 4 sacks as this offensive line doesn't impress me at all. Linebacking core, hopefully Logan Wilson plays. If Logan Wilson plays, maybe 10 tackles, a tackle for loss or 2. Akeem Davis-Gathers could possibly get his first sack of his career this week, or maybe just some tackles for loss. Really like the way they're starting to utilize him, sending him up there in that defensive line. He's fighting up there. You might not see him, man, but he's a rookie, and he's really trying to get back there in that backfield. I think this could be a week where he gets going. Moving to our secondary, I do think we will at least have 1 interception as well. Like I say, my prediction is going to be from one of our safeties. I really think it's going to be either Von Bell or Jesse Bates that either gets an interception or a fumble recovery, forced fumble. One of those 2 guys are going to get a turnover. And then our cornerbacks, no predictions for them. I just hope they can stay solid. If the safeties don't get the pick, hopefully one of our corners can do that. Maybe Logan Wilson will get another one. That'd be awesome for him. I love seeing that, especially from the little rookie guy we got. But I don't know I don't see his update status for the game. I just saw that he's possibly dealing with some concussions, which is not what you want for a linebacker, but a rookie linebacker at that, who is getting who's basically the starter. So, yeah, let's hope he's okay. But Drake, I'm going to be inviting you to the stream right now through Discord, and if you guys haven't already, second link in the description. Go join the Discord right now. There is about 40 plus people, all Cincinnati Bengals fans, just talking about games. We talk about the games, talk about my live streams, talk all that good stuff. So go join that as soon as possible. All right, Drake, I sent you the link through Discord if you want to go ahead and join in. So, what are your guys' predictions and previews? Let me know in the comment section right now. I want to know what you guys are thinking. I don't want just you guys to hear me. I want to hear what you guys have to say as well. Davon Hamilton is another guy you're going to be watching. He's a backup defensive tackle for Jacksonville. Okay. Good thing they don't got Jalen Ramsey. Because they would have had a couple of years ago. Yeah, Jalen Ramsey, I don't know how they ever gave up that guy. Jalen Ramsey is a money man. He is a beast. That guy, Jalen, I love Jalen Ramsey. I know a lot of people don't like him because of trash talk or whatever, but he gets in the receivers' heads, man. How do you not like that? I want a guy like that. Yeah, take your time, Drake. It's in your I sent you a link through Discord. Take your time. But yeah, what are your guys' what are you guys thinking for this week? Do you thinking what's your score prediction? Let me know right now in the comment section. What is your score prediction? Mine is 27-20 Cincinnati Bengals over the Jags. Are they having fans at the game? I'm not sure. I know Florida is kind of one of those states, so they might have a little bit of people, a little bit of fans back there, but we'll have to see. If you guys haven't already, please hit that like button right now. It takes 5 seconds. Go down there and hit that like button right now, please, and hit that subscribe button if you enjoy the content you watch here on DCTV. Do I trade Prescott for Kenyon Drake and Zach Ertz on fantasy? I don't know. What has Kenyon Drake done so far? I love Zach Ertz. He's a heck of a player. I would kind of be weary about that, though, because Carson Wentz has had such an off year. I love Zach Ertz. I have Mark Andrews. So I love Mark Andrews. He gets a lot of touchdowns. I don't know. Zach Ertz is a lot of iffy, not because of Zach Ertz, but because of Carson Wentz. What if they start Jalen Hurts out there? I don't know. Kenyon Drake, I'm not too sure what he's averaging right now. I haven't seen much of him so far this year. But it depends who your other quarterback is, too. My boy is going to say first dub, so he believes that the Bengals will get their first dub this season, which is pretty exciting. So I see you, Drake. I'll get you in the stream in just a second. Let's see. What else are you guys saying? The only reason I don't like him is because he fought AJ Green. Yeah, man, but I mean, that's just grit, man. That's what the Bengals defense used to have with Vontaze Burfict and that nasty Bengals defense. We used to be the bad guys. We were badass, man. And I kind of miss some of that grit that we had. We did get a little chippy last week, which a lot of people don't like in football, but it's football, man. It's a violent sport. I love seeing it. I love seeing our guys get into it. And AJ is a nice guy. I have Mahomes, though. Hey, I have Mahomes, too. He just dropped 40 points for me last week. Last week he dropped 40 points on the dot. So, Pro is going to say 28-20. Are you saying Bengals? Oh, this game is in Cincinnati, and fans are allowed to. Okay, so this is the game in Cincinnati. Appreciate that. He's going Bengals 28-20. I'm going to have to go ahead and assume that's what he said. So here we go. Drake, are you able to talk?
Yes, I can.
All right, perfect. So, guys, welcome Drake onto the stream. He's going to go ahead and give his prediction and preview for this Week 4 matchup against the Jags. And go ahead and take the floor. Thanks for joining the stream.
All right, so with me, I'm going to go and start off with my prediction. I'm going to go 30-23 Bengals. And then there's a couple of stats I want to.
You good? You still there? It's okay if not. I think we might have lost Drake for a second, guys. Hold on. We'll see if he gets if he comes back. If any of you guys want to be able to join the stream, just let me know. And I'll get you guys in here. But with that being said, we'll see if Drake can come back. I'll let you guys stay up to that. But if you guys want to be able to come in and talk in the stream, let me know. And I'll see if I can get you guys in here. So yeah, I'm really excited, man. I am really excited. Yeah, man. I'm trying to think of what some other topics. What do you guys think of Gardner Minshews so far? Oh, I think Drake is back. Oh, let me add him back to the thing.
All right.
There we go.
All right. So my bad on that. I thought I could close out and then just hop back in.
Yeah, you're good.
All right. So one thing I'd like to point out is that with Jesse Bates, yeah, he hasn't had a pick yet this year, but out of like 5 targets, the guy the thing has, he's only allowed 2 receptions. And then you also want to keep eye on CJ Henderson from Jacksonville. Out of 15 targets, he's allowed 11 receptions. So even though he's supposed to be a big time playmaking corner, he's not living up. Darius Phillips is someone I'm keeping an eye on for the Bengals. Mackenzie Alexander is definitely someone really liking how we're using Akeem Davis-Gaither so far.
I agree.
One thing I'd like to see is Von Bell up, not in the box. Have us play 2 deep safeties. Okay. A little more just playing the one deep with Jesse and having Vaughn underneath.
Yes. I feel like if our secondary can be a little bit more consistent in our corners, I feel like we can definitely be more aggressive with Von Bell or Jesse Bates trying to send them in there. And that's, that's something we saw last week. We definitely opened that defensive playbook and got more aggressive. So, maybe as the season goes on and these rookies get more experience, that might be something that we'll be able to bring in later on in the season. I totally agree.
Definitely. And I know someone mentioned that they like to see Burrow start doing all the play calling earlier. At this point, he's not ready. Going to continue doing what Zach Taylor's doing, whatever system they're having. But of course, maybe start implementing that 2, 3, maybe even next year.
No, I definitely agree. Like I said earlier, I like that response. I just think it's a little too early. I mean, Zach Taylor's job is he's very offensive minded, so we need to give him a shot. Also, with Joe Burrow, we don't want to give him too much on his plate. He already has enough on his plate with all these, with almost getting his head taken off. So I feel like we ease him in there. Don't give him all that to handle. But eventually down the road, yes, he could be one of those guys like Aaron Rodgers who should be calling the shots. But I just think it's a little too early in his career, in my opinion, as well.
Latest I do is maybe start easing his way into it maybe next year, depending on how this year and beginning of next year goes. But that's earliest, and then there's one more thing.
Yeah. Go ahead and think what you're talking about, but what did I see? The offense might go out and score a lot of points, and yeah, there's definitely potential for this game. This Jags seems very unpredictable, and there's not a guy where I think, oh, he's going to step up and turn this game around. So I think there is a potential where we can get things going this week, and through Mixon, through Burrow, whatever it takes, this could be a game where we have a breakout in our offense a little bit.
Yeah, actually, I don't know. I see Joe Schobert. Really,
Joe Schobert's good.
Taking over the game for Jacksonville. And then, Josh Allen. If we just need to hope and pray he's on Jonah, not Bobby Hart.
Oh, yeah, I know. I totally agree. I wish I knew what side he was going to play on this week. I'm going to assume it's going to be the opposite side of Jonah Williams. But if it is, that would make me a little bit more comfortable. But yeah, exactly. Hopefully he's lined up against Jonah, who has definitely been our best offensive lineman this year so far. Trey Hopkins has been nice too. Yeah. I just would like to see this group step up a little bit. Josh Allen is an easy task, but if I'm going to let off on this offensive line a little bit, they have faced very good defensive rushes so far this season. So if I don't want to give them credit because they make me so angry and how they're about to get our franchise quarterback injured, but to give them a little bit of slack, we have played great defensive rushes for the season.
Yeah, and that's also one more thing, the defensive rushing. I was looking, and Jacksonville only has 3 sacks on the year so far. So
really. Yeah, I mean, that's something to take into consideration. Like I said, there's not something on this defense where it's like, oh, yeah, their rush defense good, or, oh, their pass defense good. So this is something where, if they're not getting a lot of pressure, maybe Burrow gets the best time in the pocket so far. But what could impress me even more if we can get holes open for Mixon and get him going? Because I feel like we've done a very poor job of getting him holes, getting him out, even vertically, but also horizontally. We tried a little bit last week to, get those pitches, those outside runs, and still – we were missing so many guys like linebackers that they were still wrapping him up in the backfield. So we got to find some type of way to, get, not just Joe Burrow protection, but Joe Mixon as well.
Exactly. And also, I know you're saying that we need to get Gio going as well. Right now, we need to focus on at least getting Joe going. Because even just getting Joe open, that would make it that much easier for Gio to get going, and then getting our and then just that one there, well, let's get our playbook that much more open.
No, I agree. Yeah, that would definitely open up more, more options of, plays we can run. I agree.
Yeah. And then definitely, now I was looking, there is this one guard still available on free agency that I'd love to see us pick up. Larry Warford.
Oh yeah, I saw some Bengals pages posting about him about possible pickups. Yeah. But I mean, I think at this point we got to weigh out all our options, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't think there's an option. I think the Bengals have to be very freely. I highly dislike some of the comments we heard these past few days about the offensive line. I'll actually go on my Twitter page and talk about some of those, and I'm not a fan. So let's see. We had a Jim Turner says Bobby Hart is playing the best ball of his career.
That's That is
and
hilarious.
has been unaffected mentally by the criticism. Like, why even go out and make this a political thing? Like, it's pretty easy. Watch the tape and you know what you're going to get out of the player.
Yeah.
And there was just so many things. Zach Taylor said something about the offensive line is playing better than his perception, specifically in the run game. That one really pissed me off because what have they done in our run game that his perception they've done better than? Like, what was his perception? So that was my kind of thing. There was just so many comments that I definitely disliked this past week in Bengals media about the offensive line. And I saw a lot of guys like Bengals captain and, all these guys saying, like, take it easy on him. But I understand, take it easy. You want to be positive, don't want to be negative, because I feel like the Bengals fan bases can be so negative sometimes that I feel like, yes, I understand where he's coming from. But at the same time, man, you can't be delusional. I mean, those comments, it's just like, dude, like, come on. Everyone knows the offensive line has been bad. You don't need to sugarcoat things. And, that was kind of just my situation. Like, be realistic with us. Like, we're diehard fans. We watch the game. We're watching the same game you do. Just because you're on the field and we're not doesn't mean any difference that, we're watching the same game. So that was kind of my point of like, yo, what are these comments coming from? So,
Yeah, exactly. And then,
you have anything else you want to talk about real quick? If not, It's okay. What was that?
That was it.
That was it. All right, Drake. Well, I appreciate you joining the stream. I really appreciate you. Hopefully, we'll see you again soon. Yeah, thanks for joining the stream, man. I appreciate it. So there we go, guys. That was Drake Berry. What his prediction and preview for this week's game. Anybody else want to hop in and let me know what they are thinking so far for this next week? I think one of you guys said you're at work, which is okay. I appreciate you being on the stream anyway since you're at work. But yeah, that was Drake's point of view of what's going on, of what he thinks is going to happen here in week 4. Both Joes got to carry us. And yeah, I mean, this is perception right here. This is very valid and true. I mean, it doesn't get better than this. This is the truth. This is what's going to have to happen. Here we go. I like that a little bit better. So, no, I definitely agree. While both Joes have to step up and play their part. I couldn't agree more. Our O-line is depressing at times. I totally agree with that. Our O-line has been worse than what I thought, and I am actually kind of disappointed in myself because there was some point in, before the season started where I said, our offensive line is going to, step up. Jonah Williams is going to be that guy, and I have a feeling they're going to prove me wrong and be at least a top 15, average, above average offensive line, and boy, was I wrong so far. And I don't want to hit on this too hard. Because only week 3. This is a young core, only a second-year coach. We don't want to be too hard. Things can still change. It's only week 3. You know what I mean? So, I feel like we're very young. Coaching, the coach staff, our players. So I feel like, there's no reason to hit that panic button. But I think there is a bit of reality, a little bit of a lick of reality when Joe Burrow is like getting his head taken off. It's like, do you not remember what happened with Carson Palmer and his situation and why he hates the Bengals organization? It's because they never helped him. He always risks injury. And, I don't want to even get into that situation because I feel like the way he talked about the Bengals organization was very disappointing. And I definitely lost some respect for him because of that. But come on, you got to learn from the past. You got to learn from previous mistakes. And, yeah, man, I really, let's see how it goes. Hope I made sense. I had stats pulled up the different app. I thought we were going to be in a Discord, so I was trying to pull the stats off the top of my head. No, you're good, Drake. You're good, man. There's always next time. We'll go over some more stuff, too. There's always next time, for sure. But yeah, we are about 54 minutes in, so we're 5 minutes till we've been live for an hour. If you guys haven't already, hit that like button. Let's see a little bit of a like spike going. And if you're new to the DCTV family, hit that subscribe button as well. Let's get to 1.3K. We're at 1.29K. I only need a handful of you to hit that subscribe button, and we're moving up. Let's see if we hit it already. Maybe, maybe not. We're still at 1.29. It is all right, though. We will get it. We will get it. So you guys let me know right now. Does anybody want to come in and be able to take the stage, talk about the week 3 prediction and preview that you guys might have for this Bengals and Jaguars, or week 4, excuse me, versus Jaguars team? Let me know right now, and the stage could be yours. I'm trying to post on social media real quick, guys. So give me 1 second. But Let's go. I guess if not, I will go ahead and move into another topic that I had stored away, and that is the topic of Gardner Minshew. Before we get to that, Night Wolves says 28-17 Bengals. That's definitely very possible. I have 27-20, so you add a point and take away a field goal for them, and that's the score you have. So definitely very possible that we could see that happen. But moving on to what I was saying, Gardner Minshew, is he the real deal or not? I know a lot of people say they like him as a franchise cornerstone piece, and my personal opinion is I like Gardner. I think he brings a lot diversity to this Jaguars offense. And to be honest, in my opinion, I think there are just too many things this Jacksonville team has to go after. That quarterback shouldn't be the first one. Because I saw something that was like, if Jaguars have a chance to get a quarterback in this draft, maybe Trevor Lawrence or something like that, would they take him and give away Gardner Minshew? Excuse me, but I still wouldn't if I'm the Jags in a situation like that. You have so many other positions to fulfill and have to change and work around that. I just feel like Gardner Minshew for them could possibly be that guy over at least the next 5 years when they start building around him. If he's having a decent amount of success for the team that he has around him, I don't know. I personally like him, and we'll have to see how he fares with this Bengals defense. Like Drake said, their defense only has 3 sacks this season. I know vice versa. Their offensive line has been bad this season. So I think this is a big game for our defensive pass rush to, step up. Carl Lawson, I believe, will have a big game. He's been very great this year. Sam Hufford, hopefully he won't blow any more sacks. There was at least 2 or 3 sacks where he was going to sack the sack the quarterback last week, and he just couldn't wrap up. So that was very unfortunate. I think, he'll bounce back from that. Keem Davis-Gather is somebody I would like to see, rookie that I'd like to see getting that backfield on some blitzes. Because most of the time I see him in the game, he's going after that quarterback or that running back for a tackle for loss. And I think that could be a big bonus for us. And we'll have to see how Gardner Minshew does. I know he will definitely try to air it out early and often. I feel like, I like their running back, the rookie they have, Robinson. He's had a pretty decent, starting season so far for what he's had or what he's been given with. So we'll have to see if we can stop him and force Gardner to throw, because I think I'd rather put this game in Gardner's hands and see what he can do against our secondary. Obviously we don't have Trey Waynes, but William Jackson has looked pretty well. Mackenzie Alexander has looked pretty good in coverage at times. He's really doing well, trying to hold his own. And I'd love to see our safeties get tested. Boyd and Higgins getting the ball more. That's definitely a very, very good possibility that we could see Boyd and Higgins definitely grabbing that ball more. What am I trying to say here? John Ross, he got benched, or not benched. He took out he didn't get benched. He had reasons to sit out the game. Sat out the game. They're like, Higgins, you're up. Higgins ran with it, and he's not looking back, man. T. Higgins took his opportunity, ran with it, and I don't think he's looking back. Tyler Boyd finally, started to step up. I'd want to see him more in the first half. I feel like we're only seeing him in the second half for pressure situations, which is good. You want to see him in those pressure situations. That means he's clutch. But where is he the rest of the game? So, I think we'll see more Boyd and Higgins. I totally agree with that. Like I said, one of my predictions, I think this will be AJ Green's best game of the season so far, which he wouldn't have to do too much because he hasn't done anything spectacular so far. But I think this is a game where none of these corners are going to be able to stop him, really. So I really expect AJ Green to get going today, or not today, Sunday, excuse me. Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see who Josh Allen is going to get lined up against. I couldn't agree more on that. Let me see. To talk about. Hold on, guys. I'm just putting it on social media. If you haven't already, hit that like button and share the stream with all your Cincinnati friends. If somebody here, I'm going to put the Discord link in right now. If you guys haven't already, go join this Discord. It takes 5 seconds out of your day. And it's just a Discord full of Cincinnati sport fans, about 40 of us as of right now. And we just talk Cincinnati sports all day, every day, guys. It's a lot of fun. Copy. You can either get it from right here or it's the second link in the description below my PayPal. Right here. Go check it out. 1 p.m. game. Bengals always lose on 4 or at 4 and night games. Jags are struggling. Just maybe we might win. And that's a good point. I don't want to say that, the different times the games are are the reasons of or luck or something like that. I mean, you can look at it like this way. Kirk Cousins in his Monday Night Football career, he has like 0 for 20 or something like over 12 or over 15 on his Monday night, or not Monday night. It's like Monday night, Thursday, and Sunday night, like his game time games. He never steps up. So there could be players that does affect, or organizations that you might say is a Cincinnati spell or something. But yeah, I'm really excited. The Jags, personally, I think have looked pretty explosive. Yeah, they looked bad Thursday night, but those previous 2 weeks, they put up, 27 and 30 points, I believe it was. So, the guys can put up points. And then last year, Thursday, they played Miami and looked terrible. So we'll have to see. I think Jags as an organization is definitely struggling though. I will say that. I do agree. Let's go. But yeah, for the people who are in Cincinnati and are bigger fans of just the Bengals, what did you guys think about those Red Legs? Pretty disappointing way to cap off, the postseason. Very disappointing postseason for the Reds. I don't even know if I want to get into that topic. Because unfortunately, if the Reds were what I was going to do, without telling you guys, I was just going to make it a surprise. If the Reds were to advance, I were going to do Reds live streams. I was going to move on the Reds live streams if they were to advance. I just wanted to see if they could advance, because I don't want to sit there and waste my time to where they can't even get a single run in the game. For me, that's kind of boring. Where football's action packed. But yeah. So I was really looking forward to do some Red stuff on here, but unfortunately they came up on the wrong side of the winning page. But we talked about Gardner and Minshew for the Jaguars. Let's look up Josh Allen, what kind of season he's having so far for the Jaguars, who is definitely a top defensive end for the Jags. A great player, young, ready to get after people. So we'll check his 2020 stats, see what kind of season he's having, and hopefully he is on Jonah Williams' side. Hopefully Jonah Williams can hold up a little bit. So we'll have to see how that goes. Okay, just posting on more social media. All right, Josh Allen so far. Oh, well, they're considering him 2 solo tackles and a sack. That's it. So, not good. Not good for somebody that caliber of a player. Yeah. So, 2 solo tackles, 5 total tackles, and only 1 sack. You might say, oh, 1 sack. How's that bad? Well, Josh Allen is a heck of a player. So hopefully somehow, we can consider guarding him. Hopefully it's Jonah Williams, and hopefully we can, buy our pass rush some time and, fill some holes for Mixon. That's what we need. I like Gardner, but I don't think he's the future. They talk a little hole to fill before quarterback. I agree. Well, I do think he could be the future. I think they just need to fill the other positions before they fill his. Josh Allen has been a disappointment this year. Yep, that's what y'all. Joe Mixon, 63 yards and 1 touchdown. Okay. Yeah, let's okay. Let's see. Let's look at some of the other players. Let's look at the rookie Chase Young, who is Burrow's former LSU teammate. He has 6 tackles and 1 sack, so he's technically having a better game than Josh Allen himself, or better season than Josh Allen himself. So it's gonna be funny to see if he can sack Burrow, because he's gonna want to come after him. So it's gonna be something fun to watch if we can hold up to him. Just got back from school. Didn't think you'd be going. LOL. At least I'm here now. What have we been talking about? We have just been talking about the preview and prediction. We talked about specific players for the. Well, right now we're talking about players for the Jaguars and their stats. I brought Drake onto the show. Drake came on here for about 10 minutes and talked about his opinion. So if you would like to do that, it's something we can do. But Yeah, we're just right now we're talking about the Jags players and their stats and talking about how the Bengals are going to get their first one of the season. Am I right? Can we get some WHODEYs in the chat? Oh, I mean, this Bengals team is definitely going to get a win this Sunday. Let's get some WHODEYs, baby. Hopefully, we can get some wins. My dog will be wearing her official MLB Dogs t-shirt finally this year. I'm no longer too embarrassed. The temp is hot outside. There you go. Ohio State, not LSU. Is that correct? Did I butcher that? It's a Reds t-shirt. Hey, nice. I mean, we made the postseason finally, but it was a very disappointing postseason. Luke, you might be right on that one, but I just know it's former teammate, so we'll have to see what happens there. Miles Jack, let's see how he's doing so far. 33 tackles and 1 sack. So, like I said, Miles Jack is probably the best player on this defense. So 33 tackles, 1 sack. He is a machine. He's a homing missile, a fun player to watch. Even if you're not a Jaguars fan, I don't know who's watching the Jaguars if you're not a fan, but he's a fun player to watch. So we'll have to see. He's definitely going to be looking to make some plays against the rookie quarterback. Move on to Joe Schobert. Like Drake spoke about, 26 tackles, 0 sacks, and that's just everything 0 besides that. So 26 tackles. He's had a whatever season. Let's go to the offense. So we'll look at Gardner Minshew's stats once again. Gardner Minshew, a 68.1 QBR, 73.8 completion percentage, which is, in my opinion, really well to be on a Jaguars team. 787 passing yards, 6 touchdowns. So take it as it is. I know 3 picks. Not too shabby for the situation he's been thrown into. He's been thrown into a hellhole of a situation when it comes to an organization that just ships their entire talented roster off to every single team across the league for bare minimum, or will just release a great running back to a team that might win the Super Bowl, as in Leonard Fournette. I don't know how they just let Leonard Fournette go like that, but it is what it is, and Leonard Fournette's been doing pretty well in Tampa, so I know that definitely has to sting. Yannick Ngakoue has gone to the Minnesota Vikings. He's done pretty well there. And all the millions of other players they've had to ship off. So, Jalen Ramsey was the start of it. So I can go on and on. And these aren't just mediocre players. These are star, stud talent players. Yannick Ngakoue, top 10 defensive end. Jalen Ramsey might be the best corner in the league. These are top tier guys that they're losing on. Leonard Fournette could be a 1,000-yard rusher. Possibly, how it depends on how Tampa utilizes him, but these are good players that they're just throwing away. So moving on from quarterback, once again, I do take Burrow, but we'll have to see, how we can get into Gardner Minshew's head. I feel like if we definitely can get our defensive rush on him, send that blitz, send that pressure, I think it will definitely give him a little. I think it'll give him run for his money. He will struggle a little bit. So, who is their running back? So it's James Robinson, the rookie, who, if you don't have him already, go pick him up on fantasy. I don't know about this week. Maybe this week because our rush game is bad. But I picked him up on fantasy about 2 weeks ago. In his first week, he gave me 30 freaking points. So, he's a rookie. He's in for this. He kind of got just thrown in there, just like a lot of these guys. And, we'll have to see how they do. So he's averaging a 14.9. Carry, 210 rushing yards, 43 rushing attempts, and 3 rushing touchdowns. That's why I said pick him up for fantasy, because when we get to the end zone, they're punching it in with James Robinson. So we'll have to see how James Robinson is going to do against us. WHODEY Nation. I remember Mixon was trying to get Schobert to the Bengals. I mean, you never know. He probably still could. And we could have used them, definitely, for sure. Who's the running back for the Jags? Just answered that. The Reds are still in it. The Reds are not in it. They lost earlier today. But, yeah. WHODEY says AWOL. Hey, I appreciate my man AWOL. Every single stream is in here screaming out that WHODEY, so I appreciate you. And, yeah, WHODEY, baby. I mean, this is the Bengals' best chance to get their Week 1 win. To get Joe Burrow's first career win. Oh, it's going to feel so good. So, WHODEY, AWOL, appreciate you joining the stream, my man. So, that's the running back situation. We'll go to the wide receiver situation, looking at their stats. Start with DJ Chark. 15 yards. Is that per game or per Oh, he's only played 2 games. So that's 15 yards per I believe reception. Yes. 15.6 yards per reception, which is pretty good. So this is a downfield guy. He's a deep threat. So that's where you're going to get that from. 109 receiving yards. So take it how it is. It looks like he's only played 2 games. So 7 receptions, 1 receiving touchdown. I don't is he I'll have to see if he's injured. Let's look at the Jaguars injury list for Sunday. Because I didn't know anybody was who are the inactives. And have anybody seen Geno Atkins if they've said he's active? I saw him. Someone took a photo of somehow in Paul Brown with a photo of him, and he had his shoulder pads on. So it looks like he might be getting active in practice. I don't know if this is the week for him to step up. But you guys let me know if Geno is playing because that's all I've seen so far. I haven't seen him rule anything because usually they'll wait till Sunday morning to get everyone's hopes up and then break our hearts and call him inactive. Yeah, I think Chark is injured, but I'm going to go ahead and see what it is for week 4. So it looks like they are saying he was limited in practice. So he was limited in practice, so he probably is going to be questionable for Sunday's game, as in DJ Chark. Looks like he will be probably questionable. He was on a limited basis. Yeah, he got a chest and back injury against the Dolphins on Thursday night. They're also looking at safety Brandon Watson and Andrew Wingard and linebacker Quincy Williams, who was designated to return from injury reserve. For the Bengals on Wednesday, 9:30. So as of yesterday, Travion Henderson safety was full. Fred Johnson full. Geno Atkins limited. Michael Jordan limited. AJ Green limited, but his is just rest. It's not an injury. Darius Phillips limited. Hopefully he's good. Mackenzie Alexander did not play because of a ribs and hamstring. That will be a big one if Mackenzie Alexander is out. So Mackenzie Alexander possibly going to be out. Mike Daniels did not play. Carlos Dunlap did not play, but those guys were both on rest. So it seems like Mike Daniels will be able to play this week like he did the previous week. Carlos Dunlap looks healthy. And then Logan Wilson did not play because of a concussion, which is so frustrating. Hopefully he gets healthy. That's not a good look, man. I mean, this is his 3rd game in the NFL, and he's already getting a concussion. That's not what you want. Imagine how many concussions he's already had in his college and high school. And he's getting one his 3rd game in the NFL. Not what you want to see, guys. For the Jaguars, it's looking like DJ Chark limited, Brandon Watson limited, Andrew Wingard limited, Quincy Williams limited, AJ Can did not play, Tyler Eifert scheduled day off did not play, so I bet you he does play. Kicker Steven Hashka did not play because of right knee. DJ Hayden, day off, did not play. Brandon Linder, knee, did not play. So that's what it's looking like. And that was as of Wednesday. So things can definitely change. There'll definitely be some questionables going into Sunday morning to see, Geno Atkins, if we get some guys healthy. So take a chill pill says, I'm thinking 30-16. So he has Bengals winning it by 14. That 14. Yeah, it's 14. Having about 2 touchdowns, so that's what Take a Chill Pill is saying. The Dolphins win against the Jags. We probably should win big as well. Valid point. Hey, bro, what's up? It's Devin. Proud of everything you are doing. Keep it up. I appreciate that, man. I hope everything, if you're still doing it, I hope all going well. Hope your family's all healthy. I haven't seen you guys in a while, so I hope the family's doing good. Who got a concussion? Logan Wilson is not looking good. Not looking good. I didn't see anything about that, Drake. Yeah, I didn't see anything about that. But yeah, that's not good. The concussion. Is that the AJ got into a fight with on the Jags team? I believe it was Jalen Ramsey, who is not on the Jags anymore. Like 90% of their talented roster got traded away. So we don't have to worry about that, which is huge. So, yeah. Moving on to Keenan Cole. He's averaging 9 yards per reception, 148 receiving yards, 15 receptions, and 2 receiving touchdowns. So a pretty solid season he's having so far. Through 15 games, it's 5 receptions, a touchdown every other game. Nothing fantastic, but not a bad start to the season. So we'll have to see what he's doing. He's projected 800 yards for the season as of right now. So we'll have to see, if that changes or anything. Moving on to Chris Conley, 11 yards per reception, 88 receiving yards, 8 receptions, 0 touchdowns. So another guy that's just like, he's out there. You know what I mean? Colin Johnson, 17 receiving yards, 2 receptions. Oh, okay. You're asking about this guy. So I'm probably going to butcher this, and I'm sorry if any of you get offended. Lavashika Shelnut Jr., receiver for the Jags, number 10. If any of you know how to pronounce that better, please go ahead. 9.5 yards per reception, 105 receiving yards, 11 receptions, and 1 receiving touchdown. So mediocre. He's doing good. Definitely looks like DJ Chark plays. Him and Keenan Cole are the 2 biggest guys. If Chark is out, it looks like Lavashka and Cole are probably going to be the big guys. And then, I forgot about my man. Did I go over D.D. Westbrook? I can't remember if I went over D.D. Westbrook, but so far in the season, he's only played 1 game, and that was last week against the Dolphins. 1 reception for 4 yards, no touchdowns. So I don't know if he was dealing with the injury, but he's healthy now. If he is, he's going to look for a big spark to get his season really started, because he didn't do anything last week and the weeks previous. So don't know what that situation is. I'm assuming he was dealing with an injury. He's healthy now, so we'll have to definitely watch for D.D. Westbrook too. What do you guys are saying? Just stop to watch for a good 5 minutes, but I gotta keep it up. You're going big. I appreciate it, man. Have a good one. Forgot that was Ramsey. 27 likes. Hey, make sure you guys hit that like button. Let's get that up to 35. Hit that like button right now. It takes 5 seconds to get a little like spike going. He's a rookie. That's why I'm asking. Yeah. I gotcha. All right, moving on to tight end, which is going to be a fun one to go over. So you obviously got James Hennessy, like I would like to say. 8.6 yards per reception, 69 receiving yards, 8 receptions, and 0 touchdowns. Not too great. I don't know what else to say. But my man that does get touchdowns, Tyler Eifert. Old Cincinnati Bengal, Tyler Eifert. 9.2 yards per reception, 55 receiving yards, 6 receptions, but a receiving touchdown. So we'll have to see if they try to get him in the end zone against his former team and the Cincinnati Bengals this weekend. So that's going to be a fun one to watch. He was questionable. It said he had a off day or something like that scheduled. So we'll have to see if he's going to be able to play. Defensive back, we can take a look at C.J. Henderson and his stats so far. 13 tackles, 4 passes defended or deflected. I'd rather say that, but I haven't watched much. I know the corner position you really need to watch before. You can't just base it off of stats. That's a position you definitely have to watch a guy, but we'll have to see how C.J. Henderson, a lot of this secondary does. I believe Joe Burrow will be able to scorch it. La Viesca, basically just how it looks. La Viesca. It's a dope name. DCTV, if you had to choose to be an owner of an NFL team, who would you make your own NFL team? Obviously the Bengals, but if it was outside the Bengals, I don't know, man. I think the Rams are heading into the right direction. I know they got a lot of hate for like the New Jersey, but it's a sweet stadium. They have a lot of young, good talent on their team. They are tied up in a lot of, financial long-term contracts I think they'll have to deal with down the road. But I feel like that would be a fun one to do. I don't know, man. I mean, obviously the Bengals first, because there's definitely some things I would do right out the gate. But does anyone know who inherits the Bengals next? No idea. Hopefully not a Brown family member. Because I'm tired of that family. That family, we need someone that's going to, change the culture. But I will say they are starting to head into the right direction. So, they're starting. We spent a lot of money this free agency. Maybe get them more active. Maybe a few trades, possibly. Maybe another active free agency next year. So, I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes. Defensive linemen. Yeah, none of these guys pop out at me. So we'll head over to the Bengals. We'll look at some of the Bengal stats so far. How's that sound, guys? Go ahead and start with obviously QB1. Bro. Not Paul Mike. I think it's Paul Brown's daughter. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hopefully not a Browns family member, but probably because that's how the NFL works. Okay. So we'll go ahead and start with the number one, the man, the myth, the legend, Joe freaking Burrow. A 51.6 QBR, youch. 64.5 completion, youch. I'm not going to sit and hate on him because it's not his fault. When you have to get the ball out in less than 2 seconds, your completion percentage isn't going to be the highest. So 64.5, and he's also a rookie. I know rookies usually don't have a high completion percentage anyway, but I'd like to see that get up to at least 68. But I don't expect it to happen unless our offense line improves. 821 yards or passing yards through 3 games and 5 touchdowns. So, another thing about the QBR and the completion percentage, that's obviously not going to be that high when he has to throw the ball 40 to 60 times under pressure, scrambling for his life. So I'll also put that out there. Moving on to running back, which I don't want to hit on. I don't want to talk about it. It gets ugly. Joe Mixon, 3.2 yards per carry, 164 rushing yards, and 0 touchdowns. I mean, that's about as bad as it gets. And I'm not going to blame Mixon. I've said it multiple times. It's the offensive line. We have the worst rushing offensive line in the league through for the first 3 weeks. I mean, we can't separate. We can't get Mixon separation. He's constantly getting hit in the backfield. He has to make a play before he even gets to the line of scrimmage. That's how bad it is. So, I mean, this is about as bad as it gets, but I don't totally just blame it on Mixon. The offensive line has done nothing for him, and especially a guy that you just paid a few weeks ago. And, these are the stats. Very unfortunate, but hopefully he can turn it around. And then obviously the rare fumble from Mixon. Bernard, 5 yards per average, 10 total rushing yards and 2 attempts. So you see he's only got 2 carries on the year, although he's been more, definitely more when it comes to the receiving game. He has about 77, 80. He's about, give or take, about 100 yards total in the receiving game for Giovanni Bernard. Let's go back to Mix and see his receiving game because it's probably not much. Although I said in my video about Joe Mixon, you can go check it out if you want to, about him being signed. I said a big reason was because he should get involved into the receiving game. He could easily have 350, 400 plus receiving yards easy. But so far he has 58 receiving yards. So we'll move on for running back. That's kind of making me hurt inside just speaking about it. Wide receiver squad seems to be in flux on who they want to start. Could this be an issue with Joe getting him in sync? They've been to no breakout starts from the receiver. Yeah, I mean, this could definitely be a problem, but I don't think it's the biggest problem on his plate. He has talent there, and that's kind of all that matters. Obviously, chemistry that's not something that happens overnight. That's something that happens over years. So yeah, I do think we'll have to see who the real guys are. So far, it's looking like Tyler Boyd, sometimes AJ Green when he's not going up against the number 1 cornerback. And T. Higgins looks pretty good. He, 2 receiving touchdowns last week. He's definitely stepping up and turning out to hopefully be that guy that we drafted him for early in the second round. So obviously very little of Alden Tate this year. Not much of John Ross. That's been positive. So yeah, there are some ups and there's some downs, but I don't think that's his biggest problem on his plate. But I never agreed to pay Mixon this much. His ego is affecting his game. Well, I didn't think it was a bad contract, compared to what was he getting? Like 10, about 10, 10 and a half. You have guys that are getting paid 14 to 16 million. So it's not really the contract that is making it bad. It's the fact that you're going to go out there and pay a guy that much money, knowing that it's going to be hard for him to produce because of the offense line. That's what frustrates me. So, you know what I mean? Like, don't sit there and pay this guy and say, because I'm paying you, I need you to do this, 1,200 rushing yards a season, but then not set him up for success. Don't go paying him all that money when you should rather be putting money into the offensive line. I hate to say it, but I think it's a little bit easier in today's NFL to find replacements at running back than it is at offensive line. As much as I love Mixon, I love the way he plays the game. I love his swagger. But then you go talking about his ego. I love his ego. But at this point, I can't just blame Mixon. It's hard to pay a guy and say, here's all this, go do this, and not set him up for success. So that's what I'm trying to talk about. We should just use AJ Green as a distraction. What's all he's really kind of been so far this year, besides a couple of receptions and what should have been that game-winning touchdown. Besides that, he's taking up the QB1, getting double-teamed. So, that's kind of what he's been outside a couple plays. But how much would you guys pay in salary a distraction? Yeah, you let me know. You let me know his salary. WHODEY Adrian. Hey, Adrian, thanks for joining the stream. Burrow 2020 and facts. Oh, yeah. So let's start with the man Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd, 11 yards per reception, 230 receiving yards, 21 receptions, and 1 receiving touchdown through the first 3 weeks. So he's definitely been the bright spot. He's looking good. Like I said earlier, I feel like he's only popping up in the second half. I feel like we need to get ball to him in the first half as well. It's good to get being active in that clutch time, but let's get him active in the first half too. So far, he's projected 112 receptions and 1,200 receiving yards with 5 touchdowns. So they have him projected, this is ESPN. They haven't projected to have a really good season. And so far, there's no reason he shouldn't get his third back-to-back 1K season so far. Obviously, if he stays healthy, he should get another 1,000-yard receiving season with probably around 5 or 6 touchdowns. And then we compare that to AJ Green. AJ Green, 8.9 yards a reception, 116 receiving yards, 13 receptions, 0 touchdowns through 3 weeks. Almost a month of football. Not good. I like AJ Green. I want AJ Green to retire as a Bengal, but at the right price. If we do overpay him, I will be very disappointed. Obviously, it would be great to see him retire as a Bengal, but at the right price. Because if this is going to be his production for the rest of his career, the $12 to $15 million he wants in salary is not a good deal. And the Bengals, telling me that they held off and put him, did a franchise tag gives me a little hope that just because his name is AJ Green doesn't mean they'll just throw money his way. Because they were battling to get the right number. And they said, okay, here's a 1-year prove-it deal. We'll give you the bag this season for the franchise tag, but you prove to us what you're worth for your next 3-year contract in your career. So I thought it was a swagger move. I liked it. Obviously, it sucks how much we have to pay him, even though if it's just for a year. But, it's a prove-it deal. Then what his stats show should affect how much he gets paid. It shouldn't just be the name on his back of his jersey. But, yeah, so far we got to see more out of AJ. But, he hasn't played in nearly 2 years. He's older. And every week he's going up against cornerback number 1. And he's played a lot of good cornerbacks so far this year. So, and like my prediction for this week 4 game, this will be his outbreak game of the season. That's my prediction. A 75-plus yard reception game, 5 to 8-plus receptions. That's what I think we'll see from Green this week. Next up, a very exciting topic, T. Higgins. So T. Higgins, 9.4 yards per yards, 8 receptions, and 2 touchdowns. You might say, whoa, only 75 receiving yards the first 3 games. They really haven't played him much besides last week. He got a little, like 3 targets in week number 2. Didn't see him at all in week 1. So I'm taking this as like a game and a half, 75 receiving yards, 8 receptions, and 2 touchdowns. I'll take that all day. He's looking great. He's looking like the guy who we want to be that future of our position. And I know I'm liking it. ESPN has him projected 43 receptions, 400 yards, and 11 touchdowns. So give or take, what you think about that? T. Higgins was impressive. Offensive line is number one thing for his team. Fix a line. I agree, man. Yeah. All right, you want to jump in, man? I got you here. I will send you a link real quick on Discord. So let me get you a link, and I will get you live here on Discord. So it looks like we have another man joining the stream. Ooga Booga Johnson. So let's get this going. I'll send you this via Discord. If you guys haven't already, go join that Discord right now. We'll get Ooga Booga Johnson on stream for about 5-10 minutes to see what he has to say for his prediction and preview for about week 4. You have about 5 to 10 minutes. I'll give you Ooga Booga. So give you about 5-10 minutes. I'll give you the floor, and you can say what the biggest preview and prediction is for week 4 for the Bengals to get the first one of the season. He's already said it a million times. He's retiring as Bengal, and his family's made Cincinnati their permanent home. Yeah, but people say things that aren't true, and I learned that as a part of life. And football is a business. Just because he said that doesn't mean that the Bengals are going to hand him over some money. At least I hope not. Obviously, I want him to retire as a Bengal. Don't take it the wrong way. I want to see him retire in Cincinnati. He's been a great attribute to the Cincinnati tri-state in general, even outside of football, but at the right price. Tate or Ross, who would you sit? I would sit Ross. Drake said, we'll pull this up on screen. Drake said, one thing I meant to hit on was T. Higgins should be our starting slot guy. I'd personally run Green and Higgins on the outside and Boyd in the slot for the number 1 wide receiver sets. That's a valid point. That's a very valid point. I think those are our top three receivers, though, no matter where they're at. All right, so we're about to get Ooga Booga on here and see what he has to say for his prediction and preview so far. So here we go. Well, everybody, welcome Ooga Booga. Ooga Booga, are you ready, Gary? Are you able to hear me? You able to talk?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, so I'll give you the floor. Let me know what your prediction preview is for this week 4 matchup.
Yeah, so I don't have my camera on just because.
You're good. You don't have to.
Yeah. Okay. First thing is DJ Chark, I think, being out last week, or at least being out for the time he was for Jacksonville, really stalled their offense against Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't have any good cornerbacks that I've maybe like what's his name, Igbenogany or whatever that they drafted, but no one like any big names. So Igbenogany being out or not being out, DJ Chark being out for us is going to help us, especially if Mackenzie Alexander's out.
No, I totally agree. It seems like they are running into some problems with their health on their receiver. I thought DJ Chark was injured or has been dealing with injury. So as another guy, I can't think of his name right now. So yeah, I mean, that's going to play a big factor into today's game. Are their guys healthy and ready to go? And then, vice versa with us, it looks like Mackenzie Alexander might be questionable. He's not practicing this week so far. So, same thing with us, that's going to be a big plus or negative for either team, and just to see who it swings, who's healthy on each team. And for a secondary, I mean, Gardner Minshew doesn't have too many options. And, with how poor that offensive line is, we'll definitely have to see, what weapons he has to throw to. So, no, that's definitely going to play a big factor for sure.
Yeah, and there was a lot of what I saw on the Thursday night game or Monday night game.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of drops. I think Conley had quite a few drops that game. So if pressure's too big or something like that, or if they don't got that chemistry down, then it's gonna be a really good time on defense.
Oh, and for sure, because I mean that was primetime football too. But I mean, if our rush, our defensive front can get going, if Carl Lawson can go and wrap up the quarterback, vice versa with Sam Hubbard, if Geno Atkins is going to finally be able to, be healthy and ready to go, that's going to be a huge difference. Because if we can get pressure on them, which we should be able to, because we showed it last week, and this is a worse offense line than we faced last week. So if worst comes to worst, we don't get pressure. We let him sit back there and give time to throw the ball. Still, I don't think the weapons are there for Jacksonville. And hopefully Mackenzie Alexander is healthy. Darius Phillips, hopefully he's healthy. And, maybe, that's worst case scenario. Best case scenario, we get a lot of pressure on him. We force him to get that ball out quick. And that's why I said in this game, it's super important to get Mixon going, get the lead first so we can milk that clock a little bit and not give them too many opportunities. Because to be honest, I mean, they have a few, a lot of the receivers are some, deep threats. So, and we don't want to have to deal with none of that. Obviously I'm comfortable with our safeties and Von Bell and Jesse Bates to deal with if they have to, but I don't want to have to get to that point. But no, I totally agree with you on that. We definitely have to watch for that. And then another thing is their running back, James Robinson. I believe, is it Jackson or James? I believe it's James, the rookie.
It's James.
Yeah, James. Yeah, I mean he's been kind of a firecracker of a rookie so far. He got thrown into a situation that is pretty tough, and he's done pretty well. I think it's 2 or 3 touchdowns on the season so far. So we're gonna have to watch him if they're gonna try to get him involved in the receiving game, which I'm pretty sure he has so far. So I think a big factor coming off to what you said was how will our rush game hold up against this offense, because how is Jacksonville, who's going to be their guy? Are they just going to let him sling the rock back there? They're going to try to go to the rushing game. I think it's also going to depend on, like you said, injuries. Who's going to be the man to go? And if they're dropping passes, I mean, that's just you can't have that many drop passes, like you said. So
another thing to watch out for, like how we were talking about James Robinson, they were also having Laviska Shenault, their wide receiver pick in the draft. They're having him. I don't know if you've watched Taysom Hill at all on the Saints, but they're having him line up like in like every position. I think he has like 10 or so snaps or something at like tight end position, 1 or 2 snaps at quarterback. So he could be a factor in the run game too if they use him as a running back.
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll have to see what they're doing. I think Jacksonville is a team where they'll open up their playbook. I mean, what do they have to lose? So we'll have to watch. Hopefully we can, limit the big plays downfield. I feel like we've done a pretty good job of that so far. But besides the play action that Cleveland ran on us with Odell, I that was a different situation because we had to force our entire team into the box because we couldn't stop the run, and that's why I said our pass rush is huge, because if we can get to the quarterback, force it out quick, limit the rushing game, maybe not stop it, but limit it. That's gonna help our open up our playbook on defense. Our safety's gonna get aggressive, like Drake said earlier on the stream. Possibly line him up in the box, send him after somebody. Von Bell. Akeem Davis-Gathers, he's came in a little bit and, has done a little bit of that. But, no, I totally agree.
Yeah, we need to do the same thing to James Robinson that we did to Miles Sanders last week, because it might not have stopped him. What did he get, like 90 or so yards? But definitely slowed him down from what Nick Chubb and all of them got on us.
No, and I agreed. I don't expect our defense to shut down anybody that we face when it comes to running back. I don't care who it is. I just don't think we can shut down anybody, at least of what I've seen so far. But it's different from shutting down somebody to letting them run all over you to containing them. And I feel like we got to find somebody to step up and, maybe man-to-man coverage the running back, or whatever it may be. But being able to contain a rushing game is definitely going to help us because, we saw Cleveland run it down our throat. And what did that do? That opened up play action, which was just money. I mean, it was easy go, one-on-one with Odell, who showed that, he's still a great player. So, fortunate for us, they don't have an Odell on their team. So, we'll have to see. But yeah, the big takeaway for me from this conversation is the injuries. Like, I don't know, man. It's going to be big with Mackenzie Alexander, Darius Phillips, and then vice versa, their receivers to see, who's going to be that guy. And hopefully we can contain the rushing game for sure because that's going to play a huge factor.
Yeah, and our what I've been noticing is our red zone defense seems to gets pretty tight, to be honest. most of the time, because I think for the Eagles, we held them out of the end zone pretty well, at least in like whatever in goal, 10 from the goal line. And then we had a really big goal line stand versus Cleveland. So we can at least stand up in the red zone, but if they hit us with big plays, it might not be pretty.
No, and the thing I was going to say, the defense has done a good job on some possessions, bending but not breaking. If you watch the live streams, my play-by-play, I say it all the time: bend, don't break, where the team will start driving midfield, and the defense finally gets to stop, keeps them out of the red zone, keeps them out of scoring range, and that's something we've done pretty well. I think what happens is, the start of the possession, I feel like we're a little conservative, giving them some space, whatever. And then once we notice them, they're getting close to, scoring range, we start being more aggressive, send the blitz. So, I think Logan Wilson, too, it's going to be a huge factor if he's out or not, because he's been a huge part of the defense so far, even as a rookie. So I probably won't play if I had to guess with the concussion. But, yeah, that's going to be a big loss for us for sure, because he's been that guy that we're trying to hand him off to and be that guy. For the future, we want Logan Wilson to be that guy. So to see him go down this early in the season definitely is really unfortunate. And it's going to be interesting to see who's going to step up.
Yeah, hopefully Akeem Davis Gaither, I think his name is. And then what's the other guy that we drafted?
You have Logan Wilson, Akeem, and then the seventh. I think it was a seventh. Was it the 6th or 7th rounder?
I think it was the 7th round. He was like
his name right now.
He was like a really good player, but he got injured at the end of the season.
His whole career,
he just dropped.
Whole college career. Exactly. Why can't I not think of his name? I talk about him all the time.
Yeah, hopefully he gets some playing time, because he looked.
He probably
really
will.
Good. Yeah.
Who else? Who else? What do we have to lose? And who else to put out there besides young guys who are ready to go out there and get aggressive? And they're going to be able to go out there for the first time. I know we saw a little bit of Khalid Kareem. He had that late hit on did they call that flag? I can't even remember in that game. But where he went over there and I think it was a flag. But I got to see more of him. And what was it? Yeah, Marcus Bailey. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I can't think. I forgot his name. But yeah, you got a good point. We could definitely see a little bit of Marcus Bailey this week. Depending on what the rule is with Logan Wilson. So
I don't know. I might be overstaying my welcome, so I guess I'll get on to my prediction.
Go ahead.
Score prediction. So just going off of last week, let's say Dolphins and Bengals have the same sort of defense or some same skill level of defense. Maybe we have more pass rush than them. And they held Jacksonville to how many points?
Which game are you talking about last week?
Yeah, versus Miami.
Well, I know they had 13, and I don't know what they gave up. Jags versus.
I think.
I think it was 30 something. Yeah, I think it was 30 something.
So if DJ Chark is out, we could probably hold them to about that level. So probably about maybe, let's say 17, and then about let's go 17-27 Bengals.
There we go. So you heard it here first. 17-27 Bengals. That's what he's going for. You guys let me know what you think about that prediction. Any other predictions you have? Player predictions, game predictions, anything you got to say? My player prediction, one of them was this is going to be AJ Green's best game of his personally, I think this will be his best game yet so far. I also said one of our safeties, Von Bell or Jesse Bates, will get a turnover. I said we'll have at least 4 sacks. Those are some of my predictions for this week's game.
I'm hoping they put Joe Mixon out on a little bit, stop using Giovanni Bernard on third down passing situations. Keep Mixon in while he's hot, and so he can get more yards. I think this could be a big comeback game, I guess you could say, for him.
No, for sure. This could definitely, be able to give mixing some momentum. Hopefully, our offensive line gave some confidence. This could be a big momentum and confidence booster for Mixon if he can just get going. Even if he just gets 75, 100 yards, get him in the end zone somehow. I do think, he should get a lot of playing time, a lot of reps. I love Giovanni Bernard. He's a captain for a reason. But, there are some times where he is on third down, and I'm kind of like, I love Bernard, but we paid Mixon. Why is he not in the game right now? Type of thing. I do agree with that. Now there are some times why I do, I notice why, because Mixon's, fatigue or whatever it may be, but he really shouldn't be because he's not getting a lot of reps or whatever. So yeah, there are some times I'm like, I love Bernard, but like, why did they take Mixon out? Like, we paid the man, keep him in. You know what I mean?
If the rushing game isn't working, then get him on some screens because, like you said, he's having to break a bunch of tackles before he even gets to the line of scrimmage. And Joe Burrow's at least gonna lead him with the ball with the screen game. So at least like have him at the line of scrimmage whenever he takes off with the screen game. And if he gets a couple of blockers in front of him, he could break it off.
And the one thing that did get me excited a little bit last week was, you want to run the ball vertically. Like you want to get upfield. But with our offensive line, sometimes that's hard to do. So what do? You run it horizontally, then go vertically. So you do the stretches, the pitches. And we showed that we tried to get that going last week. But even with that, our offensive line was still struggling. And that, obviously that's not, a confidence booster. But if we can get that going, that will open up our offense so much more. But I did like how we started to open up the running game more. It wasn't halfback draw, 0-1 up the middle. Like we started, opening up the playbook for the rushing game. So hopefully we continue to do more of that. And then just somehow, some play, hopefully Mixon, breaks ones off and, gets his confidence going. So I feel like he has lost a little bit of that. I feel like, it definitely is going to be discouraging when, you get paid all that money, then boom, right out the gates, your season, it's the worst season of your career so far. So, I think it is a little discouraging. And, this is the game. This is the team where he can finally build that back up and we can see the true Mixon once again.
Yeah, and especially since however many years he's been in the league, like 4 since he got his contract. Since Kayvon Chason, the rookie for them out of LSU, if we can get Joe Mixon on like some crossing routes, how they used the running back at LSU last year against Kayvon, because he's decent at coverage, but the experience that Joe Mixon has, if he can get him in some crossing routes, and that's what Joe Burrow likes to throw, just over the middle to a running back, if he can do it, if there's nothing else open. And if he can burn Kayvon, it might just it might lower the morale of the defense if their big rookie draft pick doesn't.
Yeah, it's going to be some rookies on rookies this week for sure. And, I saw the Bengals have lined up Mixon in the receiver slot a couple times, but nothing's really came out of it. So we'll have to see. I definitely would like to see more screens. I know it is kind of like sketchy to get that offense line out and moving, but sometimes that helps. For example, last year I watched a lot of Vikings football, and they had a very bad offensive line at the beginning of the year. They found out that offensive line has more agility. They don't want to just sit there and block. They got to get moving. So they got cooked to the outside, a lot of screens, a lot of pitches, a lot of plays where they can get the offensive line moving to the outside. And at the end of the season, they had a pretty decent O-line. And this year, I know the Vikings aren't doing good, but the offensive line hasn't looked too bad in the rushing game, not the passing game. That's different. So maybe we can find something that could improve our rushing game. Something needs to happen. Either our passing game has to get better or our rushing game has to get better when it comes to blocking, because, to be honest, it's been bad on both sides. And I think it's been worse on the rushing game. I don't know how many people agree with me on that because, Burrow's almost got his head taken off a couple times. But look at Mixon. He gets, I'd say, 8 or 9 times out of 10, does he have to break a defender or does he have to do something, an elusive play, just to get back to the line of scrimmage?
Yeah.
I mean, you probably see it too. He has to miss a tackle before he can even get back to the line of scrimmage every single play.
Yeah, whenever Joe hands the ball off to Joe or Joe Mixon, whatever you want to say that connection is, there's like already 2 linebackers
at least
at his feet.
Every time.
At least.
Every time.
Yeah, so I think our run blocking is definitely worse than our pass blocking because at least Joe Burrow has or like at least has like 5 yards from whenever he catches the ball to make a pass. Whereas Joe Mixon, whenever he's handing it off, he's just going straight into a defender. Whereas Joe Burrow can actually run around.
No, I agree with you on that. Hold on, I'm gonna talk to chat. Hey, Dylan, thanks for joining the stream, WHODEY. Hopefully, I'll see you back on Sunday. Any predictions for tonight's game? Oh, I haven't really thought about that. I'll get to that into a little bit, actually, for sure. I forgot that was coming up. Forgot what day it was. But yeah, any last second things you have to say for this week 4 prediction and preview? Say it right now if you got some.
Joe Burrow, I think there's going to be a few deep balls connected. I don't know to who, but I just got that feeling because he said he's working on it since week.
Yeah, and
1.
they're taking the shots still. They've taken a shot at least 2 to 3 times every game so far. So I mean, that's not something he's just thrown out of his ass. Like he's actually doing that, and you can tell because they're still trying to get that home run play. So that's a good prediction right there. I didn't even think about that. So this man right here is going to predict that. A home run play is going to happen with Burrow, and who's the receiver you think it might happen to?
Definitely not John Ross since T. Higgins already stole his spot. So
possibly, yeah.
It might.
Sure.
I don't think T. Higgins has great deep speed, but
I'll still go up and mock somebody.
Yeah,
he can climb the ladder for sure.
T. Higgins. I think T. Higgins might be who I pick because AJ Green's going to be like, I guess, the distraction for Tyler Boyd, and then T. Higgins is just like the bonus go-to guy. He's like our tight end 3 right now, to be honest, with how big he is.
I could, I mean, I can see, AJ Boyd or, what am I trying to say? I hate brain farts. Who are we just talking about? Higgins.
Higgins.
Yeah, I think it'd be any 3 of them, but I think AJ Green, this is going to be his bounce back game. I could see him going up and mossing somebody this game. Like I think as Bengals fans, we need to see that. Like we need to see like, okay, we're good. Like when's the last time we saw something like that? I mean, we saw it, when we almost won the game, but they, called it back. But I think we could definitely see a big time catch by AJ Green this week because I think these cornerbacks, this is the easiest group of guys that we played so far this season. No disrespect to them, but I think compared to the rest of the guys we played, I think this is definitely the easiest group we've played so far. And I think we'll see that this week with Green. If Green doesn't have a good game, I think it is going to get a little kind of concerning a little bit, with him possibly losing a step or 2. But I'm not going to say that. I say this week, AJ Green has a big game. And, I agree with your prediction. We had a home run play at least once this game. My prediction's AJ Green, and you said yours is T. Higgins. So I'd like to see that for sure.
Yeah, AJ did get deep a couple of times versus the Chargers.
Yeah.
Burrow just overthrew him. So that is
exactly.
a really – and Chargers secondary is way better than whoever else we played this year. So if he can just go back to week 1 form, I guess you could say, then we should have a pretty good day in passing as long as offensive line holds up.
No, I agree with you 100% on that. It's going to be a fun one to watch, and hopefully we get some big plays. We deserve it. Maybe a big breakout run by Mixon would be a good prediction. I mean, that's something that I think we could really use. I think that's something that would definitely – we need a morale, boosting play. Imagine if that AJ Green play would have stayed. Imagine the different morale we would have sitting here at week 4. You know what I mean?
We need one of those sticky hand catches that Alden Tate does, diving backwards, doing a backflip, and somehow catching the ball.
And that's why it's so unfair to, be a Houston Texans fan or now be a Cardinals fan with DeAndre Hopkins. You get at least 2 or 3 of those every week. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So I don't know. Hopefully we get to see at least one this week. And it was good talking to you, man. I really appreciate you joining the stream. It was good talking to you. Hopefully we can do this again Sunday. So have a good one.
WHODEY.
WHODEY, baby. All right, guys. So appreciate Abuga Johnson joining the stream. Talking a little bit here on the live stream with his prediction. And I think that was a great prediction, actually, to think that we could have that home run play finally hit. So that's actually a great prediction in my opinion. Like that, if we could finally hit on that home run play, man, that would feel so good. We've been so close every week. At least one time we've been so close since week 1. And if we can finally hit on that, man, it would feel so good. So Um, I have a feeling Higgins is going to get hurt. I hope not. I hope not. Yeah, but here we go. Let's keep it going, guys. See if I have any more people who want to join up. Hold on. I think I'm gonna have another person join the stream. I gotta So here we go. I'm gonna see if I can invite another person to the stream. Let me guys get active in that comment section right now. And let me know how you guys are feeling. Give me some other predictions. Maybe a player who's gonna step up, a player who's not gonna do good. Let me know right now. I want to know what you guys have to say. In the meantime, I'm gonna see if I get another person on here who was actually very knowledgeable about football. So see if I can get this going. See invite. Okay. If you guys haven't already, join the Discord. It is the second link in the description. I've already explained that a million times, but join that Discord to talk all Cincinnati sports. Join that Discord to talk all Cincinnati sports. It's a lot of fun. There's probably 35 to 40 people in it right now and growing. And if you guys haven't already, please hit that like button. We have been live for almost 2 hours, an hour and 55 minutes. So, take 5 seconds out of your day. If you're enjoying this content, hit that like. And if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button because we'll be live on Sunday at noon. Sunday at noon, we'll have a tailgate, play-by-play, live game reaction here right on DCTV. So if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button. Let's see what you guys are saying. Adrian is going to say 35-20 Bengals. He has them big. 15 points. I like it. So big day for Robinson. And as much as I don't want this to happen, he's on my fantasy. So the thing with Robinson, the reason why he's good at fantasy is because he's scored like every game so far. So yeah, depending how our rushing game steps up, it could be a big one for the Jacksonville rushing team, and that would help. Gardner Minshew taking some pressure off of him because that you definitely don't want your quarterback dealing with all that pressure. Oh, I appreciate you, Gabuga. We'll get you on going. We'll get you on the stream again. Maybe I'll do this Sunday on the tailgate. So the game starts at 1. The stream starts at 12. So maybe from 12 to 1, I'll do this. Maybe not. We'll see. Bengals to barely win since it's a 1 p.m. game. Interesting. For me, it will be a 11 p.m. game or 11 a.m. game. Oh, are you West Coast? I thought you 7 p.m. I was like, where the hell do you live in this world? But that's nice. We can't count Minshew out. The rush game, he's kind of turning into a low-key scrambler. Yeah, he can definitely get out the pocket and make some plays himself. And to your point that he's low-key a scrambler, he kind of has to, right? Because their offensive line is so bad, he's always constantly having to break out the pocket. But I think we're going to get my buddy Mason Fletcher on here. I think we're going to see if I can get him going live in the stream. Okay. So we're going to have another person be joining here in just a minute. I copy this. So Mason, if you are watching, I sent you the link. If you want to go ahead and join up in the stream, we can talk more, hear his prediction and preview for Sunday's game. What's up, Owen? Thanks for joining the stream, buddy. Nightwolf stream, saw you got in there. I appreciate that. Burrow's running ability is underrated. And exactly, Burrow's had to make those plays. What about that beautiful move that he's had to make? And as much as it sucks to have a bad O-line, imagine how good of an improviser he's going to be for the rest of his career. Down the line, even when we improve on our offense line, imagine how good of an improviser he's going to be because of the bad offense line we have now. Burrow has been great on his feet. His first touchdown was a rushing touchdown, and he's been a fantastic improviser to, when the pocket breaks down, to go make a move. He's been that guy to go make that move. DMC said, W's for M. Fletch. Give me 1 second. We're trying to get this problem solved. We'll keep the stream going. 2 hours in, but we're going strong. I'm feeling good. So if you guys are too, please hit that like button. But let me see. Oh, that was I sent the Discord. Whoops. Hold on, Mason. I sent the wrong link. Hold on. There we go. We're gonna get Mason on here. Can we get some M. Fletch hype in the chat? Here we go. When the pocket collapses, he doesn't panic, which is amazing. Yes, he's super calm, collected, and that's what makes him such a great improviser. And down the road, that will probably never change. You know, once you have that skill, that will never go away. Just hopefully down the road, he has to do less of it because he'll be able to stay in the pocket more because we'll have a better O-line, and that's the goal. Owen said Tyler Boyd has been great. I completely agree with you. Hopefully he has a big game here on Sunday. Mainstream media is blaming Bro for the sacks, too much time and young. Don't get sacked all the time. Any thoughts? Well, I mean, the offense line is the complete thing to blame. You got to blame the O-line. It's not Burrow's fault. If anything, Burrow's had to get the ball quick because that's what he's been forced to do. And Dalton, I don't know. That's a different case scenario. Dalton wasn't as big as an improviser as Burrow has been, which has been great. In just a minute or two, about to get my buddy Mason on here, and he's going to give us his thoughts on the Week 4 game that we have going on here. Hopefully, Joe Burrow can change our jerseys like Carson Palmer did. I mean, I bought my jersey, so I'd hate to buy another one, but we'll have to see. Yeah. Burrow and Minshew, kind of the same type of QB once you look on it. The type of swagger, too, for sure. So let's see if we get Mason going. I'm going to try to add you to the stream. Are you there, Mason?
Yep. What's up, bro?
What's up? How you doing, buddy?
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. I can hear you too.
Okay, bet. Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Just enjoying this quarantine as much as I can.
I know. It probably sucks.
Yeah, it's tough. But, yeah, I haven't been able to look too much at the upcoming week so far. But I've just been doing a little bit on here, looking at some Minshew weaknesses and stuff like that to be able to talk with you.
Yeah, go ahead. You got the floor.
Yeah. I think, like, one of the biggest things, got to play a lot of man this week. Minshew's really bad at deciphering zone defenses, and especially if Mackenzie Alexander gets back, then man will be good. Corners are going to have to step up if he's out. Linebackers are going to have to stop the run, though, if they are playing man, because corners will be deep, if they're running any deep routes or anything, stuff like that. Corners and linebackers cannot bite on play action. That's going to be another big one. Especially with as much as they like to throw. Well, Minshew will want to try and go downfield, I feel like. And if their corners and linebackers are biting on play action, then that's going to give the wide receivers a little bit of an advantage to get downfield a little faster. But hopefully Geno's back this week. That'll help with the pass rush. I know
for sure.
Offensive line is going to have a big – they're going to have to step up for Cincinnati with Josh Allen. And then Miles Jack is when they send blitzes.
For sure.
Just it's going to be one of those games where whoever makes the least amount of mistakes is going to come out in the end. And I think that's one of the biggest things that, just being a Cincinnati sports fan in general, we just watched the Reds lose games straight.
And they should have easily won both those games.
Yep, exactly.
So frustrating.
So it's basically just going to be a contest of make the other team make the mistakes. Let's just put the ball in play. They have playmakers. Mixon is a playmaker. Green's a playmaker. We've seen Burrow show flashes of being a playmaker.
Yeah.
Same thing with Tyler Boyd. They're just going to have to do their thing, just put the ball in play. Zach Taylor, he's an inexperienced head coach. Don't try to do anything you're not comfortable with. This isn't a team that you're going to need to fool. Like, we're not going to sit here and kid ourselves. The Jaguars aren't one of the elite teams in the league, and right now the Bengals aren't either.
Mm-hmm.
So just do your thing, do what you're comfortable with, do what you've practiced, and make them make the mistakes. Really
and I'm going to go back to what you said about like play action and, the corners kind of doing their thing. Like, you got to go play by play, and we'll probably see them take some deep shots because what do they have to lose? You know what I mean? We've seen the Bengals try to do it and like almost hit on it like multiple times. I think it's both for both teams. Like, both teams are going to try to get down the field. We saw the weakness we had with play action against the Browns. So I wouldn't be surprised they try to utilize that into their game. I think that's very important. what else did you say? You said something about what would you say about the corners? You said something about like zone or man.
Yeah, they're going to have to play a lot of man defense. Minshew has trouble reading zone defenses. Is the film that I've been watching at least.
Okay, yeah, I haven't dived too deep into Minshew in his game, but I know that he can be very what's the word? I don't know. I feel like he's very out there. Like some plays he seems calm and collected, and other plays he seems like he just gets too under pressure and makes a little bit of those mistakes. Which he's young. He's in an organization, that hasn't done the best to surround him with good talent. So I feel like, for me, it's just really sending that pressure back there because with that, that's going to help them. They're not really going to be able to do play action if we're sending pressure and if we're struggling with them. It's going to stop the rushing game. So usually if the rushing game's not working, they don't do play action. It's usually vice versa. If the rush game is working, then they'll do play action like what the Browns did on us. So that's why I said it's super important for us to get in that backfield and force them under pressure because what I've seen, I don't know how well he is under pressure. And I'm assuming that he has turned somewhat into a decent improviser, kind of like what Burrow's had to be so far, just because, they're both quarterbacks are getting a ton of pressure on themselves. They have to get the pocket and they have to make those plays like we saw Burrow did last week where he had that amazing circus play, broke like 5 tackles at that. I feel like, I had somebody in comment something, I can't remember who it was, commenting in the stream earlier saying that, Minshew has kind of become like a little bit of a scrambler. I'm like, well, he kind of has to, right? Because he gets no time in the pocket. So for both teams, I think offensive line is going to be a huge one. Like, is Josh Allen, is he going to be on Jonah Williams or vice, the other
Bobby Hart
tackle?
Yep.
Is he going to? Who's he going to be on? That's going to be huge.
Yep.
So I feel like both teams, the defensive playbook is going to be blitz heavy. I have a feeling. Because what do both defenses have to lose against both these terrible offensive lines? I think a lot of fun defensive plays, possibly stacking the box. Although I want to see, Mixon have a big game, I think we'll have to see what happens.
If Mixon has a big game, it'll come with receiving, I think. And that's another thing is I don't really necessarily like having Gio in the backfield as much. I know he's only had 2 carries on the year, but he's had a handful of receptions.
Mm-hmm.
He is such a liability with pass block where they cannot utilize him in play action at all.
Yeah.
If they fake the handoff to him and he has to stay in the backfield and block these linebackers that are coming in here at 100 miles an hour, he cannot. He's too small. He can't block. Joe Mixon is the only guy that can stay back there and at least sustain for a couple minutes. I mean, he's holding these guys longer than some of our O-line.
Mixon's a pretty big boy, so I feel like he knows for himself when it comes to blocking. And unfortunately this year, for some reason, I feel like they're putting Gio in at a lot of wrong times. There's a lot of times where it's an important third down. I like Gio. He's a captain badge. He's a good guy. Like you could tell he's a good locker room guy. But at some point, there's been times where I question, I'm like, why is Mixon not in? Knowing that it's probably going to be a pass. I understand you want to get him off the field, regain his entry. Well, it's not going to matter if you don't pick up the third down. So, I don't know. Like you know how bad the O-line is. They'll probably send the blitz. Put Mixon back there and let him protect or let him go run a little route. Because they haven't got him involved in the receiving game at all because I feel like they're pushing Bernard a little too much to get involved in that. And yes, I want to see Bernard involved, but at some point you just paid Mixon all this money. When are you going to prove to us, stop trying to shy away from him? I feel like a little bit the Bengals have kind of shied away from him a little bit. I know it's hard because the rushing, O-line has been, terrible when it comes to blocking for him.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I'd like to definitely see like more screens. I know we actually tried to open up the playbook and go horizontal a little bit with, the pitches, the outside runs. Obviously, a lot of them didn't work, but I want to see more of it because the first 2 weeks were very predictable. It was just HB draws at the middle every single time, and they were very unsuccessful. So I feel like, Zach's going to have to do some digging into the offensive playbook and figure out how can we get this O-line moving. Because like I brought up with the last person I was talking to, the Vikings did a good job on figuring out their O-line is not very well with the pass game, but they figured out if we get these guys moving with the screens, they're very good. And they have so much success with that with, Dalvin Cook. And I feel like we need to find that here in Cincinnati with Joe Mixon.
Yeah, and I would definitely look to see a lot of wheel routes coming out of the backfield, Joe Mixon and Giovanni Bernard, getting them out on the sideline, maybe pull some of those linebackers out and help the offensive linemen like lighten their load up. Because if you take one of those linebackers to the sideline with those wheel routes, then that's one less guy that you're gonna have to worry about coming with the blitz. Or if they do bring him on the blitz, then that cornerback over there and the safety is gonna have to decide: do I guard AJ Green, all-pro wide receiver, or do I pick up Giovanni Bernard coming on the wheel route? And that's gonna make it so much easier for Burrow to make decisions when one of those guys is absolutely wide open.
And I feel like that we can open up more of that when our offensive line is more stable, because I feel like our running backs can't go run for routes because they have to sit there and block. So I feel like once our O-line is more stable, then we can start running these guys out real routes and all this stuff, because then you usually run that when your quarterback actually has some time to throw, but it's been the complete opposite. So maybe once the offensive line gets more stable, we can start opening it up a little bit more. But no, definitely. I think we need to get, Bernard and Mixon more involved in the receiving game. I mean, I've seen them where they've lined up in the 5-man out, but I don't think they've been thrown to once when they run that 5-man out. Like, I've seen nothing come out of the running backs when they run out there. So it's kind of like, why even have them out there? You might as well just throw them back with Burrow so Burrow can have a little bit more protection. So that kind of tripped me up. I was like, what are we getting out of that? So
yeah, it's definitely inexperience with the coaching staff for Cincinnati for sure, and that goes back to what you were saying, where they're putting Bernard in at pretty much the most inconvenient times. I don't think they understand that you can have Mixon in on third down and still throw it to him. It doesn't have to. You don't have to have a running back for running and a running back.
And I feel like, and exactly. And I feel like they feel pressure to like have them both get the ball, but it's like you can't do that when you just pay a guy and he has zero confidence because this offensive line is terrible. You got to get him going first. Like, you're not going to win any games till you get your best player going. And it should be Mixon, but it hasn't been.
Yeah, and obviously, I cover the Titans a little more in depth than the Bengals, and last year they had Derrick Henry and Deion Lewis, and they were trying to do the same thing that the Bengals are doing this year, where Derrick Henry would have been in Joe Mixon's position and Deion Lewis would have been in Gio's, and they cut the other guy, and so now they only have Derrick Henry, and they're doing just fine. So if you have one good running back and he can just run, Alvin Kamara, all these big name running backs, you really don't need the other guy until they turn into Todd Gurley. And I think that's what they're kind of worried about. Like, they're trying to prevent it, when in reality, running backs are so short-lived that you can't try to prevent it. You got to try and win now while you're in his prime.
Yeah, while they're good, you got to run them into the ground. And as bad as that sounds, that's the truth in the NFL with the running back position. But that's why I don't understand. You finally pay him his money, and then now you're being like conservative with them. It's like, look at the Vikings with Dalvin Cook. I mean, the dude was getting like 25, 30 reps. He's getting like 35, 40 reps now that they paid him, and I don't blame him. So,
and
I totally agree.
Because Dalvin Cook's
exactly.
And so you can.
And that didn't change their game. That didn't change their game. He got injured, and they said, all right, you're back, 35 reps a game. So, I don't know. I feel like they've been a little bit conservative because they just paid him, don't want to cause injury. But you can't do that with the running back position in the NFL in 2020 at least, just because they're so replaceable.
Yeah.
It kind of frightens me because you look at the Le'Veon Bell situation where, when he was in Pittsburgh, they're like, there's that saying, like, your running back is as good as your offensive line. They're going to play through your offensive line. He was at Pittsburgh, top 3, top 5 offensive line in the league. He was a top 5, top 3 running back in the league. Then he goes to the Jets, bottom 5 offensive line, and he's been like a bottom 5, running back even when healthy. So, that's kind of running through your mind a little bit, and you're like, oh gosh, we got to really improve. But at the same time, Mixon's been good when the offense line has been bad. So that's why, that does make me feel a bit better. Like, he doesn't need a great offense line to be great. That's definitely going to help if we ever get to that point. But we just got to get him going, because I feel like it's a big confidence thing. Like, I don't know, like, I don't know what Mixon, like, he just feels like every time I see him, he's shaking his head, body language. He looks frustrated, and he's probably not as frustrated on the team as he is like in himself, because he can't get going. But we need something. We need a big hit play, a screen, and that brings me to the halftime, or was it the end of the overtime where we get the ball. It was like 5 seconds left, and we take a knee. It's like, what the hell are you doing? Like, yes, there's probably like a 0.8% chance that we get that, but do a screen pass. Yeah, do a screen pass to Mixon, do it to Bernard. Get some, like, okay, yeah, it's a tie, but dude, get something going. Like, what the hell are you doing?
Some excitement, at least, yeah.
Like, you got to get confidence plays going here in the NFL. I feel like the NFL is such a momentum-heavy game, and when you just know the game's over, it's like, what are you getting out of that? Like, I get it. Don't want to cause injury, probably not going to win. You know, people are going to be the conservative people like that. But when you're like 0-2-1, what do you have to lose, man?
Absolutely, man. You just got to go for it. You know, put it all on the field. Don't walk off the field thinking that there's something else you could have done. Like Doug Peterson after the game, he said he would have taken the field goal. That's something that, you know, you don't want to see in your coach. You want to know that he's going to make the right decision in the heat of the moment every single time. And that's not something that Zach Taylor's proven. And again, inexperience. I'll say it. I said it once. I'll say it again. Inexperience. The playbook is small. I'm just happy to know that we don't have the worst coach in the NFL. Adam Gase up there in New York.
Oh, dude, that is a
dumpster fire.
That is a dumpster fire. You took the words out of my mouth. And the fact that they go out there and say, oh, well, even if he loses tonight, he still has a job. Yeah. It's like, what are you doing, man? Like, you don't even come out there and say that.
Yeah.
But I totally agree. And Zach Taylor on Twitter this past week has caught a lot of heat. I mean, I think Fire Zach or something was trending. Like, a lot of Bengals fans were upset at Zach Taylor. And to an extent, yeah, I mean, you can be. And I didn't like a lot of things that Bengals said this week either about the offensive line, just saying like, oh, in my perspective, they're doing better than I thought. Zach Taylor said that. It's like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, talking
like,
about
what did you think it was going to be that this is better than what it was?
Yeah.
Like, that's just telling you don't have confidence in the team. So I really didn't like that take. You know, he's young. He's going to say some things. I don't think like his career is over. I don't think he should be fired right now. But he's starting to catch a little bit of heat around the league.
Yeah, let's keep in mind also, Bengals fans, that we signed this guy after being a QB coach. He was not a coordinator side or a head coach at all. In my opinion, when they signed him, it was basically the era where everyone was like, oh, if you talk to Sean McVay, you deserve a head coaching job. And that's kind of what the Bengals fell victim to. But he's got potential. And that's a lot of what I'm seeing as a theme throughout this team so far, and Joe Burrow and Mixon. And really, it's just so frustrating because all of us fans can just look at, watch one game and just know all we have to do is fix the offensive line, and we're right there.
Pretty easy. But see, that's why it frustrates me when they're saying, oh, well, my perspective, they're doing better than I thought. It's like the one thing we need to fix, and you're like failing to acknowledge we need to fix it. Yeah. That's a problem. Yeah. I don't care if you're a first year or 10-year coach. That's a problem when everyone knows what the problem is, but you're trying to protect that problem. You can't do that as an NFL coach. I mean, if this was Belichick, he would have said the complete opposite. Instead of saying, oh, they're doing better than I thought, he would have been like, they're doing terrible. Like, he would have been straight up. And look at the success he gets out of that, though. So,
absolutely. And going back to Belichick, too, a lot of these Bengals fans, and I know I've talked to some that have this perspective as well, and saying that, well, the offensive line, they may be bad, but Mixon, we're paying him all this money, he should be able to manufacture. And I'm saying, last year the Bengals played the Patriots, and Belichick said that Joe Mixon's the hardest running back in the league. And this is a guy that, 6-time Super Bowl champion. He knows what he's doing. And if he sees that, then we should be able to know that, maybe this isn't Mixon's fault. And I know you haven't been saying that. I know you've been preaching that the offensive line is the problem. Oh, and that's 100%. Exactly what I've been saying. But to Bengals fans that are starting to maybe not believe in Mixon or saying that we overpaid him or anything like that just because of the underproduction this year, it's definitely not his fault. It's the offensive line, and it's such an easy fix. It's 5 guys out of 22 that you just got to replace.
And the thing that's sad is I saw so much hate for Mixon, and it's like, are you watching the game? Do you know anything about football? Yes, there was a few times where, he made the wrong cut or, he missed the hole, but they're not really giving him anything, the offensive line. Like 9 out of 10 times, I'd probably say 9.5 out of 10 times, he's getting hit before he even gets to the line of scrimmage. Burrow hands him off the ball, and he already has to be elusive before he even gets to the line of scrimmage. That's how bad the offensive line has been. And it's like, I don't care how good of a running back you are, you're most likely going to struggle when you have that problem. And I just don't understand how people are so angry about Mixon. And it's like, look, dude, like you can't be like that because we already just signed him for 3-4 years. So he's going to stick around for a while if you like it or not.
Yeah, he's going to be here. And it's definitely not a good sign when your running back makes it back to the line of scrimmage and you think it's a positive play. That's never something that you want to see. But just watching the film on the run plays, Bengals offensive linemen aren't getting any movement up front. Double teams are getting split by these defensive linemen that really have no business splitting double teams. If you're not going to get movement with double teams, you're not going to get movement with one-on-ones. You're not going to be able to climb levels to block linebackers. And when you have to double team so many people, that opens up so many holes for the linebackers to get through. And that's why he's getting absolutely destroyed in the backfield. And it's the same way with the pass block. You can't block somebody one-on-one. I've seen 1,000 clips of Bobby Hart absolutely getting just slaughtered. I mean, 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and and to your point that you've been saying, yes, in the long run, once they get this offensive line thing fixed, Joe Burrow is going to be an excellent, getting out of the pocket. He's gonna be throwing like Aaron Rodgers almost. Maybe not
a great improviser who, if he has to get out the pocket and make plays, he will be able to.
Yes.
So as bad as it is, that's not something he's gonna lose over his career. Even one day when we have a good offensive line, if he has to get out the pocket, he's gonna be able to make plays because of what he's going through right now. So I think sometimes you got to find the positive and the negative. That's something I think I found. But I don't know. This is an interesting one. In my opinion, for the Bengals to win, I said you got to get Mixon going early and often. You got to get the lead. You can't play from behind all the time because then, Burrow's forced to throw the ball 40, 60 times, which is unacceptable. As much as I want to see him to throw the ball because he's great and, you got to love him as a franchise quarterback, but you got to give who you paid and possibly your best player on the team the ball, and that's Mixon. And if you get him going early, you get the lead, you can start milking the clock. That opens play action. I just feel like if we get Mixon going early, it's going to open up so much more of our offense, and I feel like that's our best chances to win.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to see Burrow throw the ball because he can, not because he has to, and it's been in a situation where he has to a lot over these last 3 games. So I'll go ahead and I'll say Bengals take it 24-17. I think that you got to limit big plays. Defense is going to have to limit big plays, and offense is going to have to limit their own mistakes. So that's my prediction. WHODEY, hopefully they take home the first win of Joe Burrow's career.
Hopefully.
I'm going to hop out of here and let you finish up your show. It was good talking to you, man.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. It was a good time talking to you. We'll see you on the stream again probably soon.
Sure.
Have a good one. So there we go. M. Fletch, thanks for joining the stream. So I believe he said 24-17. I'm 27-20. That's my prediction. I have the Bengals getting the first one of the season. What are your guys' predictions? If you're still in here, let me know what you're thinking. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already. And hit that subscribe button and join the DCA family because we'll be live noon Sunday for the Bengals game here on YouTube. Exactly, Drake. Get Mixon going early, and that protects Burrow. It makes it so much easier because it just makes so much easier if we can get Mixon going. That's such a big part of our losses so far this season. It really is because every single game I've said get Mixon going and get him going early and often, and we just done the complete opposite. So, but yeah, that was a good one. So let's see what you guys are saying. I'll try to catch up to you. Mixon is a good pass blocker, and he's a much better than Giovanni Bernard at pass blocking. I will say that. I would like to see some looks with both Mixon and Bernard on the field. That would definitely be interesting to see. Some 2-back. If Zach Taylor ever decides to open up his playbook, that's something we might see. Do we have a Monday night game? Yeah, that's later in the season against Pittsburgh, I believe. Like pretty late in the season, like by Christmas time, I believe. I could be wrong. Maybe later than that, actually. I take that back. But yeah, we do have a Monday night football game later on the season. I seem to be one of few Ross fans, just needs therapy to get past his fear of success. Bengal players says one is the best in practice, but gets jitters in the game. Well, I mean, to rebuttal that, he doesn't have much more time to get therapy. He has 12 more games, give or take, because we declined his 5th-year option. So if that is what it is, a head case, then he better get his head into it. When you have a back like Mixon, you never know when he'll break off something big. Totally agree. We're still in the early stages of this team's potential. Agree. In 3 years, we're top of the division. Hopefully. That's the goal. It's Zach's fault for not drafting an O-line. Known to suck, and now we have a star QB. I do think we need to do better drafting the line, but I think we got to go outside of the draft for O-line. I feel like we need to trade for somebody, or we need to go in free agency and sign somebody to really be that team captain on that offensive line. 30-23 Burrow, says Drake. This is AJ Green's first touchdown back. I agree. 24-21 Bengals, maybe 17-10 Bengals. T. Higgins has been doing better than AJ Green. T. Higgins has definitely stepped up. I don't know if I'd go as far as saying that just because AJ Green has to deal with the number one corner. But yeah, I think it's going to be big if AJ Green can have a big game or not this week. So going off after talking to a couple of Bengals fans, this has been a lot of fun. I really enjoy being able to bring a lot of people on stream. Being able to hear what you guys have to say is a lot of fun. That's definitely one of my. What I get most joy out of a lot of these streams is, yes, my Sunday stream is just me talking because I'm doing play-by-play. There's a lot of people in here. It's really hectic. But, if I start doing some outside streams either earlier or later in the week, I think it could definitely be fun, a good time to get you guys on here to the stream and be able to talk alongside me. And so I can hear what you guys are feeling for the game. So, for sure. I'd love to see more 2 halfback looks. That could open things up big time. And yeah, that is something very interesting that I would really like to see. If we could be able to work that into our game, maybe have to put a tight end, put Drew Sample on the line to help blocking or whatever situation we might have to do. That would definitely be interesting. And that brings up to the stance, does Zach need to open up his playbook a little bit more? Or does he not have a big playbook? I think he does. I just think he needs to open it up a little bit more. But even if he does, why hasn't he? We're 0-2-1, so not the way you want to start a season. That's for sure. But 2 hours and 25 minutes in right now, guys. Let's see what we're saying. Anybody else in the stream that wants to come talk? Nightwolf says, I'm just taking this season as a chill season because I'm not expecting us to make it to the playoffs or the division or in this division so far. Yeah, I mean, the playoffs as of right now aren't very realistic for this season, but doesn't mean we can't turn this into a productive season. So I get what you're saying. I get it, but we definitely can turn around this season, at least go 500, have a good season, get some positivities out of it, see which players are here for the future, which players are here for the long run, who are the team captains, and all that. Drake said, I think M. Fletch should be back. Really enjoyed him, and I'm down to come back. Oh, yeah. I'll have to see on Sunday because I might be using a different streaming software where I can't bring people on the show, but that's when I'll have the live scoreboard. So I might not be able to do it on Sunday. Maybe we'll have to see. If not, on these where I'm not streaming on game day, I could probably keep this a weekly thing where whoever wants to come on the stream and talk side by side with me, I think I can keep doing this because it's a lot of fun. But yeah, make sure you guys stay tuned. Sunday at noon will be the stream. Sunday at noon, and then I'll be live for the entire game on Sunday. So even if you can just hop on for a couple minutes, come say WHODEY, make sure to do that. I'd really appreciate it. 2 hours and 30 minutes are coming upon. 32 likes. We got to at least get that to 50. All my live stream videos are over 100 plus, I believe. All my live stream videos are all around 100 or over 100. I know it's less because we have not as many people, but definitely hit that like button if you haven't already. Drake says he has to go. Hey, I appreciate you, Drake, for coming on the show and being able to talk with you. What you think's going on for this week. I appreciate you joining it, man. I want to probably go for about 3 hours if I can. But with these last 30 minutes, you guys got to give me something to talk about because I talked a lot about players' stats, predictions. I can talk a little bit about tonight's game, what's going to happen tonight. So who do we got tonight? So, oh yeah, we got the Broncos and Jets, which I know a lot of people aren't excited for. And as much as the Jets are such a bad team, I guess you could say, without not trying to be mean or anything, but the Broncos are so terribly riddled with injuries. I think they're down to their third string quarterback. Philip Lindsay, I believe, is hurt. I think they have receivers hurt. So because of that, I think the Jets can win this one. I think Sam Darnold will have 2-3 touchdowns, probably 2-3 picks to go along with it. But either way, I do think the Jets have a chance of winning tonight. Plus, Adam Gase's job is essentially on the line. Although win or lose, I think he won't be coaching next year for the Jets. But I think the Jets have a good chance of winning. And if they don't, it is so embarrassing because I'm pretty sure the Broncos are on their third string quarterback. So, if it was a healthy Drew Lock starting tonight, I would definitely pick Broncos. But because of those injuries, man, I probably am going to go for the Jets. The Steelers game got delayed. I saw that. Unfortunately, they were going to do Monday or Tuesday if nobody tested positive today, but an additional player got tested positive, so they're going to delay it for later in the season, which it would have been cool to see a Tuesday night football or 2 Monday night footballs. But maybe we'll get that opportunity later in the season. Justin Jefferson is good. Justin Jefferson is a great receiver and a good young talent for sure. I definitely agree with that. He had 175 yards, which is insane. And I like the way he plays. I like the audacity he brings to the table. Broncos to win. Titans COVID-19 struggle is going to affect the rest of the NFL. Yes, if the rest of the NFL gets COVID. If not, I think the NFL will just keep trucking along. The NFL is not going to change anything unless they're forced to. But, yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. If this problem keeps, progressing and becomes worse and worse, it could definitely, cause the league to have a week or two break, which, I've heard from people that they said the Super Bowl week could get pushed back if need be because of COVID. If there's a big outbreak across the league and they have to take, a week, 2, 3 week break, they're able to push the Super Bowl back. It's not like the Super Bowl has to be that date. So even if there is an outbreak, I'm sure that we can find a way around it for sure. We play the Titans this season. I believe so. Let me fact check that for you. But I believe so. Well, it's going to be a fun one. Derrick Henry, it's our rushing defense so far. Oh, yeah. That's 11-1. So let's see. We got this week, next week the Ravens, the week after that the Colts, the week after that the Browns, and then the week after that we have the Titans. So, yeah, we will have the Titans sooner or later. We will be going up against Derrick Henry, which will be a fun one to watch. Adam Gase has the single worst playbook that I've seen in my life. Yeah, it's not too great. And it hasn't been great with any team he's ever been on. So, win or lose tonight, I still don't think he'll be the coach by the end of the season. Although I do think the Jets have a great chance of winning tonight. Just because the Broncos, no Drew Lock, I'm pretty sure no Phillip Lindsay either. Let me check the Broncos injury report. And his first touchdown celebration was the giddy. Oh yeah, man. I watched the highlights, man. He's fun to watch. He is fun to watch for sure. Okay. So yeah, Drew Luck is out. Can I do this by position? No. So they have an offensive linebacker, Jeremiah, out. Austin something, inside linebacker, did not play. Bryce Callahan, I'm pretty sure, is out. Jarrell Casey, did not play. Shelby Harris, questionable. Kareem Jackson, I believe, questionable. Drew Lock, out. Phillip Lindsay, questionable. Devontae Harris, questionable. Elijah Wilkinson, Trey Marshall. I mean, the list goes on and on. And for the Jets, Brashad Perriman out, who I have on fantasy, so he's currently on my bench. Jordan Willis, doubtful. Mekhi Becton, questionable. Jamison Crowder, questionable. Ashton Davis, doubtful. Chris Hogan, questionable. Jordan Jenkins, questionable. John Franklin Myers, questionable. Quincy. Okay, so the Jets have a lot of injuries too, but their starting quarterback and running back aren't out like the Broncos. So Phillip Lindsay's questionable. So I'll say this. If Phillip Lindsay starts, if he's healthy and good to go, I think the Broncos have a great chance of winning. If he is out alongside Drew Lock, I just don't see how this Bronco team gets the win. The Jets are bad, but to lose to like a third-string quarterback is even worse. So we'll have to see how that one goes. I feel bad for Jamal Adams. He spent his time on the Jets. Hey, but he got out. Did what every other NFL player does, cry in the media, and you'll find your way out of there soon. Jamal Adams plays for the Seahawks and is going to be in the NFC Championship this year. I think he'll be okay. Yeah, Jamal Adams is out, and he's in a better situation for sure. And he has Russell Wilson as quarterback, who Russell Wilson's looking like the MVP so far. I mean, Russell Wilson is just incredible. But, yeah, I think Jamal will be fine. I mean, looking at an organization perspective, I don't think it gets much better than the Seahawk organization. I mean, they just have had so much success, even though they lost that Super Bowl. They're just, like, good every year. And why? Because they have Russell Wilson. So maybe we can do something with Burrow once we get him an offensive line. We'll have to see. I don't know why. I think it's definitely because this stream, I have a lot less people. It feels a lot longer. Like, I've only been live for 2.5 hours, and I feel like it's been on forever. But my game day streams are 4.5 to 5 hours, and it doesn't feel like anything. But that's probably because I average like 25 to 250 people average live. So that's probably why. So since we're losing a lot of viewers, I'll probably wrap this one up here shortly. Actually, I don't think I'll make it to 3 hours. Did you play sports in high school? Not high school, but I did in junior high. Basketball, and then I played Pee Wee football, if you want to count that. But yeah. All right. Before I wrap up the stream, does anybody have any last questions? Any last predictions about this week 4 game? Put it in the comment section right now before I wrap this one up. Once again, my prediction score is 27-20 Bengals. What is your guys's? So I'll give you guys about a minute or so and see if anybody else has anything left to say. And if not, I will see you guys Sunday at noon. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so just in case you forget, you get notified. And real quick, before you guys leave the stream, make sure you please leave a like. Smash that like button so we can get this more people aware of the DCTV YouTube and the DCTV family. Did we hit 1.3K this stream? No, we didn't hit 1.3K. We have to be so close. Dang it. Oh, I thought we were going to hit 1.3K this stream. It's okay if not. How many subscribers are we at? We are at 1,295. Nice. All right. Well, Bengals 100-0. 0-0 tie. 28-17. I have 27-20. All of our last week, all our predictions were all over the place, but so far this week, they're actually all pretty similar. So, all right. Well, with all that said, I'll see you guys noon on Sunday. If you haven't already, go add me on my socials. That's your best way to get in contact with me. What else am I going to say? That's the best way to get in contact with me. If you guys have any questions, shoot me a message on social medias. Don't forget to join the Discord. Link in the description below. But other than that, thank you guys for joining the stream. I'll see you guys Sunday at noon.